time for something Stoney, folks.
It's time. It's
Justin,
time. I'm
Barty
still trying to get my
McFly.
shit together.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks. We're kind of
It's been a
back
little
in.
while. Yeah, that's
It
why I
feels
had
like
to grab my little notebook. That way we can. That way I can remember what to talk about and catch up on.
Yeah, it's been a very. It feels like the past 2 weeks have been very long. And of course, welcome back to Something Sony. It's exciting to be back. I gotta say, man, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. I've been back to work. I've been going back doing shit. Been feeling good. Got my
Yeah,
shit together. Feeling good.
I'm getting
Gonna do
there.
this all day. How's that sound? What are you smoking today? What's the
Oh, you know, fuck. I'm so happy you asked. I've been excited. I have something very special. I mean, I always have something special, but I got something really special.
That's what she said.
Okay. Yes, but also, so chickadee, check it out. As you know, I am a huge fan of the Houseplant brand, which is Seth Rogen's brand and his weed company. So, and it's, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is the best weed that you can buy in a dispensary, at least as far as I can tell. And I've tried many different brands and strains and Seth Rogen, as far as everything, the high, the taste, the presentation, the smell, it all knocks it out of the park.
Nice.
And it's the second best weed I've ever had. The only thing that tops it is I used to work with, I don't know if I've talked about this, but I used to work with a guy. When I first moved out here, I worked at a steakhouse, and I used to work with a guy there who had his own farm in Humboldt County.
Yeah,
and he used to bring me samples, but it's like straight off the farm, so it's like you're not gonna beat that. And so anyway, ever since Houseplant came out, I thought like, well, they'll probably just start with just the flower now, and then I was like, hopefully they eventually come out with pre-rolls. And then yesterday I got a notification from one of the weed stores one of the two that I go to. So there's two that I go to. The other one it's in Studio City and it has Houseplant. It also has the El Bluntos. It's a much more like higher class. If you want to splurge and treat yourself to something that's real like top quality, that's where you go. And I got a notification from them that Houseplant now sells pre-rolls.
Yep.
So, did you know about this?
I did. I saw that yesterday. But I was like, that I'm going to let you lead with that, buddy, because I knew you would go for this. I knew it.
Dude, I got them. I think they just got them in yesterday, and I was in there lickety-split because I'm like, Houseplant is still very popular. So, chances are it'll sell out, or there's at least a chance.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I got to get in on this, and they're pricey, but I thought,
like pricey, like what are we talking about? Pricey? A lot. I almost don't want to know now. Don't tell me.
This is a grand total of 3.5 grams of weed, which is an 1/8 ounce. It's very common what you buy at weed shops, right?
For sure, yeah.
But it is split between 7 pre-rolls. With weed, and you know this, with weed, tax is what fucks you. Because weed is taxed out the ass. You can pretty much safely bet that you're going to pay about $20 more than what the shelf price is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These were almost $90 when it was all said and done. It was like $80-something. Yeah. I figured it'd be like 60, maybe 70, almost $90 fucking dollars. So I was like, I'm going to get these once.
Whoa.
And then I'm not going to get them again unless I, can really like, I mean, not that I'm on dire straits now that I bought it, but like,
Mm.
you know what I mean. You can't just be buying shit like that willy nilly.
No, that's a purchase, and that like there's. Remember when that time when I got super fucking stoned preparing for the show, and I ended up taking like 400 milligrams.
Oh my god,
Remember
yeah.
that?
Of
I got
course. Who could
that
forget?
bottle of
Classic
whatever.
Jimmy.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And I remember that's $60 for that, and it's 1,000 milligrams.
That's a
So
lot.
it's a lot, and it's actually, to me, honestly, like when I have my discount at my place, I like that shit. But I haven't bought it for a while. I haven't
I
bought
mean, honestly, wait, how much did you say it was?
like 60.
60.
It's not
60
that bad.
for 1,000 milligrams?
It's not
Like,
bad at all. Not bad
that's
at
a
all. Yeah.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah,
1,000
I believe it's
milligrams.
1,000. I believe it, and it's just, it's liquid. So the problem is it comes out so like it comes out quicker than you think it would. You're like, oh, I'll just have a little drop. That's
Yeah.
tasty, and you're just like, oh, this is because it tastes really good. It tastes good going down, and so you're like, fucking, oh my gosh, it feels amazing. And then I was just completely incoherent for 3 fucking days. I was Brad Pitt from True Romance. That's who I was for 3 days.
Or Brad Pitt at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Maybe. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, shit.
When he smoked the acid dipped cigarette.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I watched that. I only saw it once and I liked it a lot.
I did too. You know
Yeah.
what? Here's the thing. I watched it once, loved it. Loved it.
Mhm.
Watched it a second time, could have saved that one. It's such a long movie. And
Yeah.
that's what is as good as it is. And it's like, I mean, it is exactly what it presents. It's homage to Hollywood and the
Absolutely.
industry, and I guess for people like us, that's a cool story, But I guess maybe it's everyone else. It's like they don't really care about because there's not a whole lot that happens until like the very end.
No, and I mean, my thing is, I was fascinated by it because I'm fascinated with Hollywood history. Like I was a
Sure, yeah,
weirdo,
me
dude. When
too.
I was in junior high, we had to write a paper on something that was interesting, a part of history, right? And I'm thinking, well, what part of history do I want to write about? Oh, Charles Manson. That's what I want to write about. So I wrote about the family, Charles Manson, and the murder of Sharon Tate, and everyone. It was one of the most. Yeah, I think I was in like 8th grade, maybe. Like
Oh
I
wow.
was a kid, and I was like writing about this stuff. But I mean, like, hey, it's part of history. They let me do it. It's not like I
You
was
know,
writing some as a horror film. I was writing it as a piece of history. You
well,
know,
I mean, it is history, but
it
I
is.
I think that you know what's so funny though
What's
is
you?
I did the same thing. I am funny.
Yeah, you are.
My show is gonna come out soon.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that, by the way. I
Yeah,
do want to talk a little bit about that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, go
Anyway,
on.
uh, what the fuck
I don't know.
was I talking about? I'm not even
Something
really
about,
high. I'm just dumb.
well, yeah, you're a little, but you're not that dumb.
I
You're
don't
not.
know. It doesn't feel good when you say it.
I know it doesn't. I knew it. I knew it. I was like, yeah, you're kind of dumb. Yeah,
You're
a
like, I'm a
little bit.
fucking
Yeah.
genius.
I think we're all a little dumb, to be honest. I think humanity is a
No,
little
anyway,
dumb.
I wrote. We were also supposed to do a report, like a project. I think it was
Oh,
even like a slideshow that we had to do too, where it was like I forget what it was, but it was something like that, where it was a piece of history, and
mhm.
I chose just Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up really kind of in the fucking like. I loved Hollywood. I loved old Hollywood. I watched old movies. I was pretty knowledgeable as a kid on
sure.
classic films. Everything from Birth of a Nation, and I believe, gosh, I don't care. It was back in the early 1900s. I think 1917 or 1924 or somewhere in there. It's a long period. But I became very interested in that history and the history of how films were made, how it went from color to black and white to color. And I really fell in love with the 70s cinema. I mean, I still am in love with 70s cinema, and I think that's why I liked that obviously Charles Manson's kind of connected to Sharon Tate, who was an actress, and there's a of course there's a little bit of that kind of, ooh, it's seedy, it's tawdry, because we like people like tawdry shit sometimes. We like to kind of delve into the muck a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was truly fascinated by it, and I mean, we're we're in a time where I feel like every time I see got one of those fucking preachers on TV that are actually starting to be taken seriously by some people lately. It's like, I'll know everything
Talking
about
about the televangelists.
yeah, televangelists. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
hundreds of
dude,
thousands of people take it.
one
Joel Osteen
douchebag. I don't even want to mention
does
his
the
name,
arena
but
shows.
he can go fuck himself. He said, hey, the one douchebag said something about, oh, kids with autism are demonic, something like
Oh,
that.
I mean, look, we
Go
can
fuck
all
yourself, you piece of cocksucking shit. Go fucking
well,
die.
we can
Fucking,
all agree that all of those people are bad people.
they're worse than bad. They're worse than bad.
There's that
They
one
should
that's
be
like,
locked up. They should be
there's
locked
that,
up.
yeah, well, they shouldn't, yeah,
Hmm.
they shouldn't have rights, but
No, honestly, no. If you're like the crap that they spew, the kind of hatred and vile that they spew out, they're attacking kids with autism. Go
dude,
fuck yourself.
I tell you what, why can't fucking Putin do something about these guys?
I know, right? Fuck Putin. Fuck all. I love. Now I don't want to talk about the war. I don't want to talk about the
You
war.
know what's, dude? You know what's so funny though? You're
What?
already calling it the war. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a war over there, but like, it's not.
Although the good thing is, it seems like, I mean, Ukraine's kicking ass, and they're like proving, don't fuck with us, and I'm good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just so. First of all, I'm getting real sick and tired of living through major historical events.
Jesus Christ, right? I want boring. I want
This one,
fucking boring.
the first one hasn't even ended yet. At
I
least
know.
wait until COVID's over, Putin, you bitch. But
He's a piece of shit.
dude, I could kick his ass.
I wish you would. I wish someone would. I really do.
Um, it's crazy to think about though that there is. I mean, I don't know what the likelihood is, but there is a chance that we could enter another world war.
It doesn't look like it. It's from what I'm seeing, they're failing. Russia's failing because
That's surprising.
it's not because it's just him. It's just this douchebag Putin. That's really all it is.
Hmm.
The Russian people are like, fuck you. We don't want this shit.
Yeah.
They're good. A lot of them are really great people. It's like anything else. You have good and bad wherever you go. But it's like, it's he's a fucking failure. He's a shitty human being, and he should be locked up.
He
He
just
should be
wants
locked up.
the Soviet Union back.
Mm-hmm.
Just another fucking boomer who's crazy about the past, dude. Ain't that a
Right.
bitch?
Like, get over it. Get the fuck
Let it
over
go.
it. Let it go. Hey, let's get back to drugs, because fuck, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Here, I'd say I'll finish my spiel about houseplant
please.
pre-rolls. So check this out. It comes in a little
Okay.
tin, and
Oh,
there's
that's nice.
there's 3 on top, and then you lift this little flap, and there's 4 on the bottom, and it even comes with little baby houseplant matches. Aren't those cute?
They're so cute.
So this strain, this is a new one that I've had from Houseplant, and I gotta say, it's a winner. It's called Ice
What
Fog.
the hell? There's Elizabeth.
Yeah, she's checking out my Ice Fog.
Oh my god.
It is a cross between peanut butter breath and lava cake. Now, I've never had peanut butter breath before. I've heard
good.
I've heard nice things, but I've had lava cake before, and lava cake is terrific. So, but yeah, no, these are great. These are great. So, yes, I had something very special for tonight.
Oh, sweet. Well, I mean, good news. I did too. I don't have it to show you, although actually I can show it to you. Let me find it here. So I went with a buddy of mine to a new place, which I don't remember what it's called because I've been there once and it was pretty rad. It's like downtown LA. And
Nice.
let me see if I can find what I got. I found this shit, and it's really kind of rad. Here we go. You see that? Space Gem.
Oh.
it's you know when you like so the edibles I take now, when you have them they taste good. They're really tasty. They taste like fucking candy. They're delicious, right? These things taste horrible. They're really sour and
Really?
really, but they work. The high is fucking amazing. It's like
Hmm.
really chill, really, there's no anxiety. It's just kind of like you find a really good, it's a good place. I figured this would be a good time to do it for the show because I just tried it yesterday to kind of I try not to save something for the show because last time I did that I drank 400 milligrams and was out for 3 days.
Well,
So
as you saw, there's one missing. I had one yesterday. Of course, look, look,
shit.
your boy opens his presents on Christmas. Okay,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So these are great.
they're fantastic. They're not rolled the best. Usually, pre rolls have a very clean, tight roll,
Okay,
but just like me. But
that's what she said.
they're a little wonky. But I the quality of weed makes it worth it. I mean, it's
Nice.
still functional, you know.
Nice, nice. Well, I had a, you know, what, I want to talk a little bit. I had an interview this week, and it was pretty cool. I gotta say, and it's, I've been away from my job for a while, right? You know, I've been kind of doing my thing. So this week I've been kind of moving back in, and I had a pretty big interview. I knew I wouldn't get a lot. I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time. It was with Matt Reeves, who just directed the Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm like thinking, shit, I'm going to get a lot of like, if I suck at this, because I did an interview with the cast of Spider-Man where we only saw part of the movie, and it's an okay interview. It's not my best. It's like I just went into very generic stuff because I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody, and I knew people are already spoiling it, so I was trying to be a
Well, and you
little,
didn't even see the whole thing yet.
yeah, I didn't see the whole thing, so I, not
And
saying that I
you
could
probably
have.
didn't even make it to the good parts.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, I mean, oh, it's a good movie, but so
It's
my thing
fantastic.
was with, but to be fair, I I also very strongly believe in that. There, you also, there's things I could have done to make it more interesting. So it's fine. It was a fine interview. It was fine. But so I had Matt. I knew I'd only have a few minutes, and no, I cannot talk about the movie at all because there is an embargo
How does it
on
end?
Monday. Can't talk about. It. Can't talk about. It. But let me say this. Let me say this. It's a total tease, man. If you watch the interview, you'll be able to tell what I think about it. Pretty obvious.
Oh,
But I will say that, like, man, I kicked ass. I kicked ass at this interview. I like
that's good.
because I did my, you know, I know enough. I know my job, and I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go in and I got to figure out. I'm probably going to maybe have two questions if I'm lucky. If I'm
Yeah.
lucky, because I only had like a few minutes, so I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna ask. So I asked about origin, and I looked into the research. You know, I did some research on what, you know, the speculation of it was going to be, on which, you know, whether it was going to be the long Halloween or year one, year two, whatever.
Yeah.
And the what was the other one? There's another one, but
Court of
I just,
Owls.
what was that?
Court of Owls. Was that the other one?
maybe maybe
I
it
know
was.
they've been toying around with that idea for the sequel.
Might be it. So I just asked about that, and he honestly gave a fantastic answer. I literally, his answer was so long that they had to cut it. They were like,
Wow.
"Okay, sorry, yeah, we got to wrap it up." And I was like, "God damn it!" But weirdly enough, dude, the interview is kicking ass. It's like doing really fucking well. Like the
That's
numbers are
good.
huge. And I'm getting a lot. It was the weirdest thing because when you do an interview and you put out on YouTube or whatever you do, every time you put yourself out there, I just expect to have people going, "Fuck you, you suck." That's really just
Yeah.
because that's kind of the
There's
world we're
usually
living in.
one at least.
At least there's usually more, especially because the anima, I can't even say the word. I'm too stoned. Anonymous kind of feel that you can, you know, you can kind of lay out there. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You're anonymous, so you can post whatever the fuck you want.
Of course, of course. You're a
So
keyboard warrior,
that's
so
what I'm trying to say. But
yeah.
I was shocked because I was like going through. I never read comments. I stopped reading them because they can be pretty. every so often I'll be like, kind of curious, and I'll do it. But I was reading the comments. I was like, oh my god, like people are being nice. People are really being
That's
nice. It's
good.
weird. It's
That's good.
especially you kind of don't expect that from DC or a superhero fandom.
Any comic fan or any
Yeah,
yeah yeah
but I think that there's a lot of hype for this movie, and there's a lot of people that are very excited about this movie, and I'll be happy to talk about it next week when we do the show.
oh yeah, next week it comes out next week. That's
It comes
right.
out next week, yeah. So
Fuck.
check this out. My other story, I reviewed Cyrano, which I wasn't supposed to do. It was a
Oh
last minute
man.
thing. And I was, dude, I was for sure. I was like, I saw. So a lot of times our reviews don't get a lot of comments at all. Like if it's a smaller movie or if it's a movie that doesn't fit our brand, a
Yeah.
lot of times you just won't get comments. People just say, or you'll get, this looks stupid. That's it. So I'm like,
That was me.
I go on to my review and I was like looking, I was like, three comments. I was like, oh shit. Oh, people are going, oh, this is fucking stupid ass musical. I was like, do I even want to read? And I went to the comments. I was like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Because people are like, oh my god, I love this movie. It's my favorite movie of the year. Blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? People are being nice. Let's keep it
Yeah.
up. I like that.
Yeah, they got that mask mandate removed and everyone's just like through the roof.
I know, right? Are you? How is that? Like, I well, the thing is, I've noticed people still. I'm still wearing it. Like when I go out, fuck it, I don't
A
care.
lot of people do. Yeah. But
My dude, it look if so. Like if you're out there and somebody comes up to you and says, "Why are you wearing a mask?" There's no mask mandate. I'm like, because I feel like it. None of your fucking
yeah,
business.
yeah.
Really,
I
none of
don't
your
know. Are
business.
people doing that though?
Yeah, I had a friend that happened to literally rip the mask off his face. I think Kevin, actually, one of our regulars, someone did that to him. Like I may have the wrong story, the story slightly off, Kevin. Sorry, but like no, I know that if he's listening, if you're listening out there, but I know that like yeah, people, and I don't know. It's just like a friend of mine at the Vaughn's had something similar. I mean, it's not that bad. I do think my kind of outlook on the world right now is probably way too many Karen videos, so I'm pretty much convinced that everyone is horrible to an extent.
Yeah. No, I mean I definitely understand that. I mean, at work, you kind of get, you deal with so many just shitty people
Yeah.
that it skews your perception of the world, and that's why it's important to like go out and socialize and have a life and travel and all
Mhm.
this stuff, because it's like it gives you perspective. If you're just stuck inside this vicious circle of negativity and hatred and bitterness because you're fucking stressed and
Mhm.
someone was shitty to you, um I don't know. I mean, it's just not good for you, and it's also not a good way to approach the world or life.
Yeah, no, I always find it weird. Like I was watching some videos today, and I've heard people say stuff like this before, and to be honest, have I probably said something like this in my life? Sure, probably, and
Everybody
I
fucks
won't
up.
anymore. But like, what really annoys me, like I was watching one video today where someone was saying, "You'll always, this is the only job you'll ever have working at I don't know, it was the some bookstore boss, whatever, some bookstore." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
Borders, is that the bookstore?
maybe something
Borders,
like
is that
that.
what
No,
you're
it's the other one, the other big one. What the fuck?
Yeah, what is the other book, the big
Barnes and
one?
Nobles. Barnes
Yes,
and
that's
Nobles.
it.
Yes,
That's it. I
we're
was like,
already
why the
guys.
fuck can I remember that?
Fuck, I don't know, but I'm like, so what? Good for them. They have a great job. Don't ever attack someone's fucking job. Don't ever do that.
I
That's
mean,
fucking
it's just
rude.
ignorant too anyway. I mean, it's like
Completely.
eh, these
I
people
don't care if
have
they're working at fucking. They're scooping shit. I don't care. Like you
well, a lot
don't
of
get.
jobs like that pay good money.
Yeah, they
So,
do. That's true. That's
yeah.
actually true. Yeah, I mean, I have friends on all sides of the fucking aisle. I've got friends that work in fast food, or I've got friends that work in fucking the movies and make a shit ton of money. And I treat everyone the same way. I treat people with
Yeah.
kindness.
Well, I
I
mean,
try to.
everyone is at such a different phase in life than
Yeah.
you or anybody else. So, and even these people, like you're saying, that are in movies and blah blah blah, they were that person
Yeah.
behind the fucking fast food counter at some point.
For sure.
You don't know who you're talking to. That's what I think.
No,
You don't know who you're talking to.
you don't know. And here's the thing: even if say like you're talking to a fucking homeless person, they deserve respect. At least they deserve fucking decency. Just be decent. Just be
Yeah,
fucking decent. That's
yeah.
it's I don't understand the whole kind of I'm better than you because I have this, or I'm better than you because, and I think it's bullshit. And I think it's like, look, I got a pretty good thing going with my life, and I've got whenever I complain about shit, I always feel kind of stupid about it because I'm like, oh, I'm pretty lucky. I got a lot of good in my life. We got struggles, but you know, I got a lot of good, and I have a very easy job. I have a great family, and I have a great friends. But I'm always like, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if things are
Well,
going to go bad for you.
sure, and that's why being I mean, it sounds corny as fuck, but that's why
Oh
being a
God,
good
he's going to be
person.
corny.
Shut up.
Fuck.
But that's um, that's where the importance of actually being a good person comes in. I mean, one of the most important and useful qualities that you can have as a person is to be likable,
Yeah,
and that can get you very far in life.
again, again. I mean, look,
It can.
there is look, and I'm not gonna lie. There's sometimes I think people love to see a train wreck. So sometimes we build up people that are pretty terrible. We watch shows like the Kardashians, or we watch shows like I don't know, like there's I think there's some island dating show which I keep seeing previews for, which I'm just like, please just stop.
Oh my god, I forget what it's called.
You know
It's
what I'm
one
talking
in.
about, right?
I don't know if it's an island one, but there's one in London, I think.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
yeah,
a buddy of mine is one of the. It's one of those like the courtship, I think it's called.
oh, good God.
And I think yeah, because he was in London for a few months, and yeah,
Yeah.
I
Hey,
used to fucking work with him, and he's one of the suitors in the dating
good for
show.
him. Good for him.
Yeah,
Like, I
no,
mean,
he's
I
got
don't.
a
I
network
hate those
job.
shows. I fucking hate those shows. I think they just they
But
they.
but that's like what you're saying. That's why they're good, is because
I
these
guess
people
so.
just don't have it together, and it's messy, and there's the drama, and that's inherently interesting.
It is, and maybe that's why I watch the fucking Karen videos. Why I watch those fucking videos of people just being assholes, because it's. I think there's a part of me that like I feel like I can you can learn from it. I feel like you can watch those and go, haha, how would I handle this differently? And how would I handle, because I've dealt with
Yeah,
real Karens in real life. You have too. Um,
sure.
it's just, and I still every time I say that, I always feel so bad for people named Karen. Like in general, like people, not all people named Karen are bad people. Come on, stop it. Like it's just not
Well,
even. Well, maybe a few, but
well,
hey, check this out. Should I do up or should I do down? Because if I do down, it looks all Eddie Vedder 90s. What do you
well,
think?
I was gonna say up, but you said Eddie Vedder, so I kind of got to go with that.
Okay, check this out. Check this out.
That yeah,
See, I got the
that's
fucking
yeah.
Eddie Vedder thing going on.
Actually, you know what it actually reminds me of, because it's
Who?
like a little greasy,
That's what you
is
said. I'm bringing that back big time.
it reminds me. I don't think it ever went away. I think The Office solidified that it's going to be around forever.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
true.
but your hair actually gives me Jonathan Davis vibes from Korn, the singer of Korn.
Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
down.
Now you just gotta. I was gonna say, dude. Now you gotta do that.
I loved
I
what
love
was it?
Korn. I
Follow
love
the
Korn.
Leader, right? Was that their that
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 was
was a
one of theirs. That was their biggest one. Yeah.
that's a great
That's
record.
yeah. That was the one that Freak on the Leash was on, which is their biggest hit.
Hmm.
But man, they. I definitely went through a big Korn phase in high school.
I'm not surprised. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Sure. I went through a Korn phase. I went through a Static X phase. if you remember them.
I
Um,
do. I
I
do.
went through a gigantic Pantera phase, which I think is probably the most respectable of my phases, except for maybe Lamb of God because they're also fantastic.
Uh-huh.
But Pantera, I mean, look, that's one of the best and most influential metal bands of all time, and that's a fact.
I know 100. I will 100% agree with that. I think they're legendary, and it's the shit the what they did, and they're very very fucking iconic. And the tragedy that befell on them is just it's like
Unbelievable.
they would still be making music. They would still be like a
The,
Metallica, still making music. I
yeah, well, they did
100.
break up at one point, but I think they would have got back together
They would
eventually.
have gotten better. Yeah, they would have gone back together. I'm pretty sure. Dude,
Because how do you not?
I loved. Yeah, I love Pantera. I don't like. I'm not like a huge like I metal has kind of like my metal years and my punk years have started to wean a little bit. I'm not as I'm getting a little more. Oh gosh, bring on the easy listening
Yeah, yeah,
guitar
yeah.
person, yeah, woo! But I'm okay with that. I don't give a fuck if you don't like my music. You know what? I gotta
I
tell
will
you.
say that, like, I guess it just comes with maturity. I have reached an age now to where, like, people sound like Erica Badu that, like, I was talking about the last
Mhm.
show. That is now more appealing to me than a lot of other things that I would have maybe normally favored
Yeah.
in the past. Yeah,
You did look. I was driving one time in Burbank, and I was in a mood for Kate Bush, and I had so she had her
Bush.
real. I had her real. She dude. I am so going to. You will like Kate Bush. You will be like,
Man, here
holy
we
fuck.
go, dude.
Fully, she's a genius. She was discovered by Roger. Was it Roger Waters of Pink Floyd? I mean, she wrote fucking songs when she was 13. She
She wrote
produces dance.
fucking songs.
Yeah, she wrote some kind of, yeah, she wrote a couple songs. She wrote one song on her first album. She's 18 about some woman going crazy and shooting up a wedding party. I mean, it's really wild stuff. Really
No,
wild stuff.
she's great. I was actually just more of a fan of George W. To be honest,
Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, you would. You would. No, but so
we should try
my
to get George W. Bush on the podcast. You know how great he would be.
you
He'd
he
be a great
Harold
guest.
and Kumar was not true. That was not really him. He didn't do that movie. He wouldn't do that. He would. I don't want to know. I don't want to talk to George W. Bush. No, not on the
Man,
show. Not ever. I don't really need to talk to him.
it'd
But
be a lot of fun.
no, he wouldn't. I'm driving along, right, and I have Kate Bush playing pretty loud. It's some weird ass song. I don't know what it was. I think it was like
Yeah,
fucking "Sat in Your Lap" or something. And it's like, and I have the window down, and these dudes roll up, right? These like they're all like, listen to. I think it was like, it was some rap. I can't remember who. It might have been Dre. Might have been
Dr-
Dre. But they
Drake.
pull up to me. No, it wasn't Drake. It was Dre. I think it was
Oh,
Dr. Dre.
Dre. Oh, Dre. Oh, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Of
they
course,
pull
dude.
up
I
and
heard that so much after the Super Bowl.
of course. So they pull up to me and they roll down the window and they're like, dude, play some real music. And I look at them, I'm like, guys, but I like this. You may think this is weird as fuck, but I love this shit. And they were just like, cool, man. Enjoy. Cool. I'm like,
That is pretty
like,
coul that you changed their minds.
yeah, well, it's just, you get to a point, you're just like, dude, I don't give. I like. If I want to like something, if I hear something, you know who I fucking love is Rihanna. I love her music,
Oh,
legit.
she's fantastic.
She's
Yeah,
fantastic, and I don't necessarily think she's a great singer. She just is. She's very well produced. She gets great songwriters. I like her stuff. It's just it's
yeah.
good. It's and
You know
it
she's a billionaire.
not surprised at all. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she
She's
handles
smart.
her fucking business. Yeah, she actually, her and ASAP Rocky, who I'm also a very big fan of, are gonna have a
Oh,
baby.
oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah,
I never know who's having a baby or who's getting married or who's I never pay attention to that stuff. I don't like it takes me they have to be together like forever. Like, oh yeah, Pam and Tommy Lee, I know they were together for a while. That's it. I don't
yeah.
I was shocked to find out that this actress I was supposed to interview but I never did was married to Nick Jonas. Or did I talk
Hmm.
to her? I think I talked to her. I don't remember. Talked to a lot of people. Sometimes I forget who I talked to. But I, I'm
Oh, look at you.
I'm so popular. What are you drinking? What is that? Is that water?
No, it's BCAA's branch chain amino acids. It is kind of like a post workout. It's like a powder.
Oh, okay.
You mix it up. It's like a post workout. It helps with um it gives your muscles the proper amino acids
Wait, did you work out
to
today or
help.
something? Are
Yes,
you?
I had a lovely leg day. Blasted my quads and everything.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
And yeah, so yeah, you have your protein shake.
Mm.
You take your vitamins. Maybe you got some fish oil pills. Maybe you got some what's it called?
Vitamin D. I don't know.
Damn, dude, I forgot what the fuck they're called. They're another pill to help with muscle recovery. And
Oh, okay.
CLAs.
Okay.
You can get you glutamine and all this stuff. I was very into bodybuilding at one point in my life.
I know you were. Yes.
Yeah, I know all the things, and
There's a dude.
I continue to make an effort to get back into it. So I
You gotta bring on one of those pictures back from the day you were doing that when your arm's a fucking tree trunk.
yeah, right before I moved out here, I did this because I jumped from like actual workout program to like regimen to regimen,
Hmm.
all from this guy Jim Stepani.
Hmm.
He has a degree in exercise science.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is a guy that you can for sure trust, like when he gives you workouts, because he's not like another one of these fucking bro dudes on Instagram being like, all right, guys, this is what you got to do. Like this guy knows his shit from an educated standpoint, or like a
Yeah.
medical field standpoint. So, um, and he also used to do bodybuilding competitions. He's cool. He's fucking cool. And so I get all my workouts from him and I just jump because I found that I needed the discipline of an actual regimen to hold myself accountable to
Yeah.
properly working out.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I would do that, and then man, I forgot what the point of this was.
I don't know. I just let you go.
I just went on a rant. I just went on like a humble brag rant about like how jacked I was. But right before I
Yes.
moved out here, I did a program. That's where I was getting at. Um, where I grew my arms an inch in 6 weeks.
Yeah. I remember those pictures. I saw
Yeah.
pictures of that, and I was like, "Fuck." I would not mess with you at that. Now you're a puny little man. Now you're
I mean,
puny.
chill out, dude. It's
Puny.
it's coming
Puny.
back very
I
slowly
could
but
kick your
surely. It's
ass
hard
at
to
this
stay
point.
consistent these days. But I'm still putting in the effort. I'm gonna try to get up real early in the morning and fucking blast out at chest day. Fucking get
Fuck.
these titties rocking, dude. I can still do the titty dance. So
Can you
get the
really?
fuck out of here. Yeah, of course. There's no way you're gonna see it through this jersey. Yeah,
I
maybe
know.
a
I
little
was
bit,
gonna say we might have to like
but
when
I could definitely do it.
one show. If you get really high enough to do it, you should totally do that. I think you should. I think
I
it'd be
can I
fun.
can just wear like a tight t-shirt or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Unless you want me to actually take off my shirt and do it, but
Yeah,
I
you
could
could
just do
if
it
you
through a
could
tight
let send
t-shirt.
if you want him to take off his shirt, Justin Butts, just send
I
him
mean,
a
look, you got to give me some time though.
wait. You know what? Now what we should do is we should have like a Twitter contest or some shit like that. We'll just like put out there like one of those. Should Justin take off his shirt or wear a tight shirt? That's it.
Man, that's
That's
not.
it.
Everyone's just gonna go for the. They're gonna go for the meme and just go. Be like, of course, just fuck him, take off his shirt.
Yeah, I think you should though. I think you should. If you got the goods, fucking sell it, man.
I'm not
Sell
saying
it.
I have it right now. I'm saying I'm working on it.
Okay, when you're ready, let them titties fly. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
still working on. Look, I'm just emotionally unavailable. I just need to work on myself.
How much are you working out at this point? Like daily, weekly?
Man, every day. No,
Really? Oh, okay.
no. Like three, at least. I have like 3 days a week,
Okay.
which
Yeah, I've
is
been.
which is like the. I think that's like the bare minimum to still be progressing. You know what I mean? At
Is that?
least, at least, at
Yeah.
least like with like muscle building and weightlifting and stuff.
Okay. I mean, so I've been doing the boxing thing with my neighbor, and it's like
Yeah,
been honestly, dude, I feel I feel euphoric with it, man. It's like
that's
I
great.
feel bad for him because I keep going, oh my god, thank you so much. But I'm like, dude, you're literally helping me in ways you can't even imagine because I'm getting healthier again, and he's a really dear friend, and it's nice to work with someone who you can trust. And I've worked with a couple. I had a manager, this guy named Chris back in the day. I should look his name up. I should pimp him out because he's fantastic. I
Yeah,
worked with him
pimping.
a little bit, and he was really great. That was back when I lost like the 150 pounds. He was amazing, and I just kind of forgot about it, but with everything going on and having to maybe I'm cleaning more, I'm cooking more, I'm more
Yeah,
aware of the shit I'm putting into my mouth when it comes to my diet, so I'm being very careful
yeah,
and eating fish, eating chicken, eating you know healthy stuff, and then I save like at night I'll have a cookie or something when I get really high and I want my.
yeah. You can, yeah, you can have a little treat, especially if you're really sticking to it the whole day.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been doing that, and I feel like, dude, I like the. I'm not gonna be a great boxer. Like I'm not. I don't even know if I'll be a good boxer. I probably won't. But man, dude, when we got those fucking gloves on, and I'm punching,
Hmm.
and I'm like jabbing and crossing and jabbing. I feel so fucking good, and it feels
Sure.
wild. It's fucking
You
amazing.
feel it's that primal energy and you feel like a
Yeah,
warrior. Yeah.
it's so I'm really grateful that like he's been helping me out, and I feel I'm getting okay. Like I'm just trying to piece everything together, like how to stand, how to move, how to. And I'm not like, I'm never going to go in the ring with anybody because not my jam. I don't really want to fight anybody necessarily. Well, I'll, you know what, strike that. It would be kind of cool to go into a ring and actually have a match, but I am not, I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's
Damn.
for me. I don't think I just don't, maybe, you never know. Maybe if I'm really high, maybe I'll do it. But like,
Maybe yeah, maybe someone that's like, you're the same skill set.
mhm. Well, there was a fucking, there's a director, a filmmaker, filmmaker, his name's Uwe Boll. Uwe Boll, right? He did
Do I?
he does notoriously bad movies. Like they're he's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
he's
Wait,
kind of the
and then
marketed Postal, the Afraid Alone in the Dark, the video game, the really bad video game movie. I'm trying.
I think yeah, I think I just didn't know. I think I was saying his name wrong. So I knew
Yeah.
him as like you bowl.
Yeah,
So
I might be saying it wrong too. I think it's Uwe Boll, but if I could be wrong, whatever. But so look, I've actually interviewed him. I've talked to him a lot. He's a really sweet guy. I really like him. He's very smart, very fucking cool. I actually like him as a person, but he is a little bit arrogant, and he's got that kind of thing where it's like, if you don't like my movies, fuck you. You're an asshole
yes,
type of thing.
yes. He's the bald guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
Did you
so
see the Did you see the video of when because he also boxes.
this is what I was talking about. Yes, yes. This is why we do the show together, dude. Yes, go on.
Do you want me to go into it,
Fuck it. Might as
or
well.
do you want to take it?
You do it. You do it,
Okay,
baby.
so for I mean the video, it's kind of funny, but like it's also like, yeah, of course he's arrogant, and so you know what? More than anything else, he's so fucking insecure.
Kind of.
He
I
wants
mean,
you. He really wants you to like his movies, and that's apparent. But it's so, dude, to go to that length. So okay, what had happened was, in case anybody doesn't know,
yeah.
and there's video of it too.
And by the way, I
So
know some of the people he fought. So
fought. Here's how those fights went. Okay, um, so you whatever
Uwe
Boll
Boll, yeah.
Uwe Boll, he boxes. He's very well trained, and it's like a hobby of his. But he is very well trained. So he invited these critics that said really nasty things about him or his
Jeff
movies.
Snyder, hey buddy, how are you?
He invited them to a boxing ring
Yeah.
that I think he had rented out the whole thing, and just this empty boxing ring like arena, and invited them to come and box him. And people actually showed up.
Yeah, no, they did. Like I said, I knew it. I knew at least one guy that did it. I may be another, but like a lot of them, they just were like, "Fuck it, why not? This would be fun." To be fair,
Yeah,
dude, like
I
I
I
would have done it.
I
Totally.
don't think why why
I just think it. Well, here's the thing.
you
My
know that you're gonna have to actually fight somebody,
Yeah, that would be the thing that turns me off.
like
But
actually.
look, they're not all journalists are completely out of shape. Not There's a lot of them that are physically in, and I know like I I think there's a lot when that happened. I think, and I didn't know this guy when it happened. I met him after, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like I think it was just for them. It was like they just wanted to kind of go, dude, come on, get the fuck over it. Let's just do this. And it was that kind of, and it gets clicks. It gets
It
clicks.
does. It does.
That's it. That's
Anyway,
more. Yeah.
to finish it off, he
Yeah.
invites these people, and no, I don't think any of them were out of shape, but I don't think, from what I recall, none of them were in shape either.
No,
You
I
know,
don't think
kind
so.
of kind of weeby looking guys, and they get in the ring with him, and Uwe Boll beats the shit out of all of them.
Every single one.
I
Yeah.
think one of them even threw up.
Probably. Yeah, yeah, I didn't watch all of them. I remember hearing about it. And I was like, oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He beat the shit out of all of them, like bad. But
Yeah,
I mean, again, it's like it's like so insecure to be like, you said a bad thing about this thing I
it's
made, so I'm
it's
gonna fight you now.
insecure, but I think there's more to it. I think
Oh, of
it's
course,
for
there's more
him.
to it. Of course,
I
there's more
think
to it.
he's a very smart man. He really is. And that if like I remember having this really long talk with him before one of the screening of Postal, and I was like, I like this guy. He's a nice guy. He's fucking smart as shit. He's very good at kind of promoting and knowing his brand. So I think it was a smart thing for him to do that shit because it really kind of got his name out there. People are like, because nowadays I don't know what he's doing so much. I don't think he's really making. I don't know what he's doing right now,
I don't think
but
so.
for that time, his name was always in the news because of that kind of stuff and because the movies were getting trashed. And I'm like, my thing, I don't particularly judge an actor or a director by their movies. Like you know, sometimes they make bad movies. Sometimes really nice people make really bad movies, and that's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. That's fine. At least they're working. Again, that comes back to, hey, at least they're. I auditioned for some stupid ass films in my day when I was trying to act, and I'm like, I would have been proud. I did a couple of things that were fucking terrible, terrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of time, well, especially when you're up and coming, like you don't care what it is. You're like,
No, no.
you know, it's decent pay and it's also work. It's exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I haven't been great the greatest things. I mean, not the worst things either, but um, also some things just don't come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You're like,
no,
can't
it's
wait to
true.
see that one, and then it doesn't come out.
I just bought a movie. I did that. I would love to have it. God, we should have him on the show. He's a really nice guy. Bill Kellman. It was the first one of the first things I ever did, and it was I was a kid, and I played a I played a drug addict. Woo! It was fun. And I that movie was is available. I actually bought it. You have to search. It's not on like your regular streaming channels. I forgot where I bought it. I'd have to look it up. But like it's out there. It's called Almighty Fred, and it's a fun little movie. It's not bad. It's not a bad little movie.
You can find a little short film I did, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber.
Really?
It is called The Blockade Runner.
That's on Amazon Prime. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Speaking of you and your little project,
Oh my god, dude. I'm so
dude, in a
excited.
month. Fuck. Let's
In
talk
a
about this
month.
shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is important, guys.
Yes.
Um we're finally starting to push and promote the show that I've been working on for the last fucking
20 years.
9-10 months, the better part of a year, with some close friends of mine, and yeah, so they're all writers. One of them's a stand-up comedian, so also a comedy writer,
Yeah.
and I try to write things, but lately I'm just like, you know what, let them do their thing. I'll do my thing. They come to me for all of the complicated acting things, like all of the more, um, whatever you want to call it, over the top characters.
Okay. I gotcha.
So yeah, that's my role in the group, is an actor, which is fitting for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. But I do throw out some ideas that they enjoy. But
Now,
anyway,
are you good at improv and stuff like that, or no?
I've done a fair amount of improving
Okay.
in the show. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
and also in other things, but mainly
Yeah.
the show, because it's a comfortable environment. It's obviously, you're with your friends, so that's fun. So it's always there's I've also been like half naked in a lot of these sketches, like completely stripped down. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
now I
So
know why you wanted to do it. Now
I guess
that's why you mentioned this taking off your shirt. You want to take off your shirt for the show. God damn it.
to be fair, when we started doing the show, I was looking good for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it slipped a little bit. Slipped a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're getting back up there though. You're
I'm
looking
getting,
better.
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting
For a
there.
moment, you were starting to go into my
Yeah,
territory.
dude. I had a little unexpected vacation. Whatever, dude. We're gonna fucking talk about that. But
Fuck. Yeah.
back to business, to the important thing. So anyway, the show is called Mates, and it's a sketch comedy show that I've been doing with these guys, and it's going to be released on April 1st. That's when the first official episode comes out. But right now, what you can do, and what you should do, and what would be cool of you to do, is so the episodes, as well as individual sketches,
Mhm.
um, just so it's kind of easier to digest in this day and age of content. So full episodes will be available on Instagram Reels and our YouTube page, and I think maybe Facebook. And then we'll also post individual sketches, as well as behind the scenes things, pictures and videos. We also have some Instagram exclusive little bits coming out soon, that are going to be on the Instagram page if you follow at Mates Comedy. That's MATES Comedy.
I'm gonna find it right now. I'm doing this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
why are you
find
not
it.
following it, dude? I sent you. I
Am I,
sent you
am
the
I
shit.
on Instagram? Mates,
Maybe I didn't send it to you, but I know you saw the. No, I sent it to you. I definitely sent it to you.
you did not,
Um,
liar.
I for sure did. I for sure
Mate,
did.
what's it called? Mates
For
what?
Mates Comedy. That's the
Comedy.
page,
Okay.
and it's Mates on Facebook.
You should be doing
And
this
then
too at home right now while you're listening.
you should. I I actually haven't looked at the YouTube page.
Mate, wait, I don't see it. Mates rates for best mates. I may have to do this when I'm not a little more
Mates.
sober.
Just okay, check this out. Go to your
Oh, go to your
messages.
page. Go to your page. How about
No,
just
go to your oh my god, go to your messages.
Oh shit, it's in my
Go
messages.
go to your messages from me.
We should definitely do this while we're doing the show. Definitely.
Go to your messages. Yeah, it's teaching Jimmy how to use a fucking phone. Go to your
Yeah,
messages.
I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna do this later. I see it. Yes, I
Oh my
do. I
god.
do have it. I have it. I will do this right. Is it gonna like pop up with sound though? Like, no, I like this. How do you join the thing? Oh, here it goes. Okay,
If you press
fine.
the video and
I've
you press watch
followed.
video,
I've followed. Are
you
you
followed?
happy? Yes.
Good. Yes, I am.
I've had. I Please follow this account
Mates at Mates Comedy.
if you can see that. It looks blurry to
Brand
me.
new sketch show. I can't even say it. Sketch show starring yours truly,
Are we
April
gonna have a
1st.
guest? Are we gonna have
YouTube,
someone join
Instagram.
us?
I think yeah, I think when I did throw out the idea. This I will
Okay,
probably set this up.
please do.
I think when we release the first episode, I'll see if they're able to do the show.
That'd be nice. That'd be fun to have. I mean, I love. Look, I like doing this show with you, and I like it. Our kind of energy, and we've talked about this, but every so often, it's fun to have a guest on. You know,
Yeah,
and especially this show. Like, I know you've been working your ass off. I know that it means a lot to you, and I'm like, fucking, let's promote the shit out of it, dude. I don't care.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's like
I've had some crazy wardrobe changes. I've sent you a few of
I
them.
know I've seen some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I get
what
the brunt of all that.
let me ask you this, like, because you do not strike me like when we talk about acting. I know you like a lot of silly comedies. I think we agree on some of that too.
Yeah.
But as an actor, like, do you prefer doing the goofy comedies, or would you rather get into the you can't handle the truth, that kind of shit?
I love and prefer dramatic acting.
Okay,
I
well,
love and so far everything that I've done acting wise, like on a short film, a pilot, whatever, has been like tough guy characters. I love playing those too. It's
yeah.
fun because for me, it's like I'm already kind of uh a real wild card. No, I'm
Oh,
already
you're so wild.
just kind of like fun and kind of silly anyway. So comedy is, and here's the thing, I will say, as an actor, I think that as many great performances out there, I think the true test of performance, I think, is comedic acting. I think that's where you get to really see chops. It's easy to play sort of more stoic characters, and obviously there's a lot in between, but I think that there's a lot of people that there's actors that I didn't like until they started doing more like comedic roles, and I'm like, they're actually really funny. And then I actually am like a fan of those people now.
Mhm. Well, I
So
mean, you look at someone like Channing Tatum, who
that is one of
start,
those people I was
yeah,
thinking of.
yeah,
The
he,
other one was
and
Ryan Gosling.
yeah, they're both incredibly funny. And now, I mean, the beauty of doing like comedic acting, I look at people like two of my favorite actors. I'm not talking drama, I'm not talking comedy. Two of the best actors working in Hollywood, in my opinion, Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Not just for their comedy. God damn it, they're fucking great at comedy. Both of them are obviously, but like when you see both of them,
Also, Will Forte.
absolutely 100%, one
Dude, he
hundred
can he can
percent.
totally like transform himself.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very impressive. Did you ever watch that show he did that got canceled halfway
The
through called like
Last
The
Man on
Last?
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a good show.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good
He,
show. Check it out. But
like,
also check out Mates Comedy. Instagram at Mates Comedy, YouTube Mates, Facebook Mates. Get your fix. Get your fix. April 1st. Also
what's your
doing a lot of
favorite?
promotional things. Doing a lot of
What's your
promotional things
favorite?
up until then. So be
Do
sure
you,
to follow.
do you get do you like have like, are you guys gonna have swag, like little t-shirts and shit, like
That
mates?
would be cool. I think right now that's an investment that just won't pan out realistically. So maybe in the future, maybe we'll do like after we do season 2, hopefully, maybe we'll see, you know?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I want to talk more about like the stuff, but I want to see it first, and I like the idea of having some of the other players on. I think it'd be fun to have them on
Yeah,
and just talk about
they're no, they're all hilarious. Like, and they really kind of, we all understand, we all pretty much find the same things funny
it.
the vast majority of the time, and you can really kind of, and you know, we're all very very politically incorrect. So there's a lot of freedom to just kind of go for it as far as jokes, or if you do want to
Hmm.
improv something, and it can, you can really fucking go for it. And that's fun too. That, I mean, that kind of freedom is important, especially, I think, especially in comedic acting.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know how excited you've been about this project, and I'm excited. Like when I got the little, it's like a teaser trailer. Right? If you guys find it, go on Mates Comedy Instagram and you said Facebook and Twitter or no?
It is not Twitter. There is a Facebook page. There's a
A
YouTube
YouTube page.
page, and
Yeah.
there
Okay.
is, and then it's Instagram. I would say probably Instagram is your best bet. You know,
Hmm.
just because you get the behind the scenes stuff, you get the full episode, you get the individual sketches. Just, and especially like the individual sketches are just basically going to be each episode
Breaking
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 down,
Two, Electric Boogaloo.
do breakdown starring Kurt Russell, great movie. So,
That was
um,
a good movie.
that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Not as good as Joyride though. Joyride was better.
Joyride is good.
Joyride's
Joyride was
awesome.
good.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Paul Walker was
I
the
like
man.
Steve Zahn. I like
I
Steve Zahn
love
a
Steve
lot.
Zahn. I love. Just got to interview him for the first time. He was really nice. I knew he would
Did
be.
you
He was. He's one of those I
did,
figured he'd be nice, and he is. I like him.
that is cool. He's like, yeah, I think he's doing all right as
Yeah,
far as like, but he's just I haven't really seen anything, but I
he
think
did.
he's doing all right.
He did that. It was a Christmas movie that just came out that I have swag for that I can't even remember the name of it at the moment. Something about it was Christmas, whereas the kid wanted to get this game station and everyone wanted to get, I don't know, it was a cute movie, but I don't remember what it's called, so like, hey, you could always chat
I
about it.
mean,
But I interviewed him for that, and it was my first time interviewing him. I've been a fan of his since, like, I loved his early work. I love fucking Suburbia is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
You
No.
should. It's a Richard Linklater directed feature, and it's funny because everyone like knows Richard. I think I've said this before on the show. Richard Linklater is my favorite filmmaker. I don't know what it is about his movies that just connect to me. Whether it's Boyhood, whether it's the trilogy, the Beyond Sunset, whatever. But he did this, and of course he did Dazed and Confused. Everybody knows
Oh
Dazed
yeah.
and Confused.
Well, also Boyhood is just a crazy concept in general.
It's crazy, and it's what it was brilliant, dude. It was
Yeah.
brilliant. My God, and it was so, and it worked on so many levels, and not just a fucking comedy or a drama. It was life. It felt like fucking life.
It literally was. I mean,
Yeah,
you saw this kid at every phase of life up until then.
I give his that dude's parents credit because that's a tricky. Like I could imagine thinking, I don't know, God, my kid's gonna be stuck doing this, and because I'm sure
Yeah.
contracts were signed, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
but I also I probably would credit Linklater because he's a really 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 genuine good person. He really is. I think that there's I think I think they probably just knew he would do well with him, and he would be respectful, and he would really tell a good story. And I think that movie is a powerful film, powerful, powerful movie. And I was happy when it got a bunch of nominations. Happy to see it win, even though I don't really give a shit about the Oscars. Speaking of the Oscars, what the fuck, man? Like, stop trying to be hip. You're not. You're just not. Like, they're so. Did you see this? They don't want to, and I don't know if that's because they're getting a lot of people are pissed off because they're not airing certain awards like best editing. They're not airing them because
Oh,
they're not interesting enough, I guess, and they're trying to get more viewers, and it's the Oscars seems like every year they like, well, what can we do to make people watch our show? You know,
Yeah. Well,
I
I mean, people are giving less of a shit about it
here's the
every
thing.
year.
My thing, so I'm actually going to an award show. On Monday, I'm going to our award show, the Hollywood Critics Association. Sometimes I present. It's awesome. I love it. It's a great time. It runs about, I would say, 2.5 hours because we give out a lot of awards because we also do television. 2.5 hours, 3 hours, but there's no filler. We don't like. I think the Oscars, the smartest thing they could do, just do it like BAFTA, man. Get a host in there. Just go, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give out these awards. We're not going to have a 20-minute long segment on how the cane was used in movies. We're not going to get you these stupid segments that are just like no one, these big dance numbers. Just have like award, performance, award, performance. 2 hours. Get it done.
Yeah.
I guarantee people would watch. People would be like, oh, okay, cool, that's kind of cool. If you just treat it like less of a spectacle and just do it as a show, as like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna get the awards out there. We're not gonna, and the way they tease, like you're like, soon they'll be find out the best picture of the year, and they're doing it like it literally half hour into the show, so you got to wait another 14 hours
Oh, yeah,
to
you
actually
can't.
see that. It's like, fuck off. Like, don't do that shit. Like, I just think I think people are tired of the spectacle. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's that they're tired of the spectacle. I think no matter what, a spectacle is going to sell.
No.
I just don't think
Yep.
they're doing it right.
Yeah.
And I mean, God knows I don't have the answer, but it just doesn't really seem like, I don't know. They want to improve themselves, but it just all seems out of touch.
It that's I think that's the problem, and I to me I my issue is I feel like that's why I pay more attention to, like, say, the indies, the Independent Spirit Awards, a lot of the other award shows, a lot of the critic shows, because I know generally they see all the movies, and they actually try to, you don't see the same shit winning for every award show. Occasionally you see the one movie, like I think the Dog will be a pretty big winner this year because it's just seems to have connected with people. I think Dune
Really?
will get. Yeah, it's one of the it's an award show. I mean, I didn't like it. I thought it was
I was gonna say everyone I've talked to said it's not good.
critics love it. Critics love
Of
it, and
course
and
they do.
and because it's one of those things. And look, and here's the thing. Look, there is
Yeah, I'm about
often
to call it a bowl.
yeah, there's often a divide when it comes to, like, I remember there's so many times like Drive comes out. I think it's fucking brilliant. I love Drive. It's
It's a great movie.
most audiences hate that movie.
Well,
General audiences hate that movie.
I remember the big thing surrounding that movie is how misleading the trailers were. The trailers for that movie made it look more like a Fast and Furious type of movie,
Mhm.
but it's actually like a dark, like drama kind of movie. And
Yeah,
and I still like that, but if you're going in expecting some high action thriller that is similar to, with cars, so you're expecting something
yeah.
like Fast and Furious, and then you get Drive, and especially if you don't like those kind of dark movies, then yeah, I can see people like review bombing it or something, but
You know what's
um
really weird? You actually made me think about something just now. Like, I'm thinking about, because again, I'm thinking about the divide between, because again, critics loved it, audiences. I think the audience score for that was terrible, um, and a lot of people, like, there's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. Then when you see a movie and you're like, this is not the movie I thought it was, you're not gonna. You may like it more. Sometimes,
yeah.
generally, you're not. Generally, you're going to be like. So I think
Yeah,
they're. Keep in mind, critics, when we see a movie, we don't, yeah, we get the trailers and stuff, but a lot of times we just go. I don't watch the trailers because I have that luxury. Because if I'm reviewing a movie, I don't want to have a lot, like, I don't want to know too much about it. I want to go in pretty open, and by the time general audiences get to see these movies, the trailers are out there, and the expectations are out there, and
And nowadays there's like 10 fucking trailers, all different trailers that they
Mhm.
release before. They tell you, they show the whole fucking movie before you go see it.
Oh, you and I talked about, I believe, last week when we were on the phone just for funsies. Didn't we talk about Nope?
Yeah, well, see, that's how you do a fucking trailer.
Fucking A,
You
yes,
don't know anything about that movie, but it looks fucking good, and that's what it
dude.
takes. That's what it
There's
takes.
that moment in the trailer when it's just like you're just watching it and you're just like, what's going on? Why is she dancing? And then the words just start coming down, and you're just like,
Yeah, it's like from Jordan Peele, and you're like, oh, it's gonna get
oh.
intense.
And here's the thing: I'm not exactly like I like Jordan Peele a lot. I think he's a very talented guy, but I thought Get Out was good. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a little overrated, but I don't necessarily think it maybe should have gotten a bunch of Oscar nominations. But I get it. I get it, and it's a good movie. I didn't like Us.
Yeah, oh
Didn't.
yeah. He's developed at this point this like brand, this style.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
And I find it very, I mean, even as someone that's not really that deep into horror anyway, I find it unique,
Well, I think
kind of
that's
refreshing.
why you're not really into horror, because there's a lot of unique horror that's better. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's just it's movies that aren't necessarily. I just saw a movie that opened this weekend, I believe. It's called The Cursed. It's a really bad
Yeah.
title, and it's got Boyd Holbrook, and it's oh God, I want to say the other guy's name, and I can't. Alistair. But
Kevin McAllister.
yeah, exactly. No, and Kelly Riley is in it, and it's one of those movies when because I did the interviews for it for WeLive.com, We Live Entertainment, which should be posting soon, I hope. Well, I think this came out last week, and this movie starts off. It seems like it's going to be a werewolf movie. That's kind of so you're kind of watching it. And I was like, this is weirdly good, like weirdly good. Like I'm really into the story. I'm really into where they're going. I don't really know where they're going though, and I kept thinking throughout the whole movie, I'm like, once I get to that final act, it's going to totally blow its load, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to ruin the movie. And I got to that final act. I was like, fucking hey, that was good. I'm like, I highly recommend The Cursed. Highly recommend it.
Huh.
And it's some of the CGI. There's a couple of dodgy CGI moments, but honestly, incredibly well acted. Really original. You won't know
Hmm.
where it's going. It was one, dude. Almost every movie I've seen, most of which I can't talk about at this point, has been horror. I saw two horror movies this week that I fucking loved, that I can't wait to talk about. I can't talk about it yet. It's kind of that's the sucky part of my job, is like you see this movie and you're just like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell everybody about this movie. And like, oh yeah, I gotta wait 2 weeks to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, sounds like a real drag.
it's a real tough. It's a tough life, man. It's a tough
Dude,
life.
I've been watching some movies.
What have you been watching?
Well, first of all, last week, or was it last week? I think it was last week.
Probably. It's
Yeah, last week.
so yeah.
It was definitely last week. I I went to I went to go see Jackass again. I
Why
drove.
am I not
Yeah,
surprised?
well, because oh my, I seriously, I've been thinking about seeing it a third time. I love it.
You should.
I
Fuck it.
love it.
Go for it. Support
Well,
that.
because I was like, man, I really enjoyed it the first time. But I was like, let me go to, it's been out for a little while. Let me go to a little more, empty theater. And I was like, let me kind of make it a nice little outing, because for my birthday I got uh two like free movie passes.
Yeah.
And after we filmed more sketches for the show, Mates Comedy at Mates Comedy, please follow. Afterwards, I drove to Burbank. I went to one of the Burbank AMC's, and I used the little thing. I brought a joint with me, and I smoked a little bit of a joint before I went in there, so I was feeling real good. And it was a nice time. It was a nice time, and it was even as goes with a lot of movies. It was better the second time. It was a fantastic time, and yeah. So
What was
I
the
might
audience?
see it again.
Like, how
They
many
all
people were?
it was actually one of the big theaters,
Okay.
and I would say maybe it was like a quarter of the way full.
Oh wow.
So not
Wow.
bad, not bad.
Wow.
Maybe a little less than that, but there's quite a few people in there, and people still, like laughing and reacting crazy to it. Like that's one of those movies that you're like, I kind of want to see this with a group of people.
Well, I kind of get that because I think again, it's like people really are looking for escapism right now, and that I mean, there's seriously, what more escapist can you get than fucking Jackass? You know?
Yeah, a little blast from the past.
Yeah, for sure. And it's silly. It's fucking. I haven't seen it yet. I've kind of been stuck seeing because like I'm working again, so I'm just seeing what I have to see right now. Just because I'll get to the other stuff later, but like I do want to see it. I like the Jackass movies. I think they're fun. I think my favorite was Jackass 3. I like
That's
that one a
everybody's
lot.
favorite. That's my favorite too. I think it's
It's
just the
really
best
good.
one. I
I
think it's the
it's
most fun.
It was the most fun, and it was pretty ballsy. Well, literally, they had a lot of dildos flying around in that one. But yeah, it's good shit, man. What else did you see? You said you saw it, or
So I didn't go see any other movies.
okay.
I watched some on streaming. I've still been meaning to, because I talked about the idea of making it a point to watch at least one of my little DVDs in my giant collection.
You should watch
Uh,
High Tension. That
at
one's a
least
good one.
once.
Dick
Uh,
fucker.
I don't even know where that one. I lost that one. No,
Well, you don't have to lose
no, I
that.
didn't. I didn't. I have a movie that somebody else let me borrow. I still haven't watched, but
Good God. Do not
I
lend this guy a movie. Seriously.
don't.
Oh my
No,
God.
don't. You won't get it back because I'll never watch it.
I'm gonna bug
Um,
you. I want my High Tension back, man. I want to watch that shit.
look, when I get to it in the stack, then you can have it back.
You motherfucker. Motherfucker.
Look, what can you do? So yeah, I've been thinking about like doing like at least one a week. I haven't done
Okay.
that yet, but um I do like that idea. I think I will eventually get around to doing that. It's just, shit be crazy sometimes. So I've actually been watching, a few movies on streaming. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've watched more than these, but I wrote down a few of them that I watched.
Oh, nice.
A lot.
Good for you.
I've
All
been,
prepared and shit.
yeah. I found myself watching a lot of movies that I was really into when I was younger, like like in the early 2000s and like kind of
Mhm.
like the late 90s. That was such a specific time in movies, and I feel like they were made a certain way
Sure. Sure.
that
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore. But very, it's a very special time,
Mm.
very experimental. I feel like it was a transitional time. That's what it
Oh,
was.
for
So
sure. Yeah.
you had a lot of like crazy ideas. I tried to watch Ultraviolet. Do you remember that?
Yeah. It's bad.
And I was like, dude, it's Mila Jovovich, fantastic.
She's
She
always
looks
awesome.
great as
Always
always,
awesome.
and
Yeah.
she's like one of the great like ass kicker, action
Mhm.
stars. I love seeing those. And I was like, and I like kind of remembered it from back in like 2006 or whenever when it came out, but I was like, let me try to watch it again, dude. I got about 15 minutes in, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw up watching this.
Wow. Wow. So you're a fan.
I was like, I'm sorry, Mila, but like, nah.
Dude, look, she also made that Return to Blue Lagoon movie. She made some bad movies, but like
Sometimes you
everyone
make a
makes
bad movie.
sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, no, no. Yeah.
What
I
else did you, so what else did you stream? Like, okay, Ultraviolet. I have no idea why you could have watched High Tension, and you, god damn
yeah.
you, god damn.
No. I chose look, if High Tension had Mila Jovovich in it, I'd be all over it.
The girl's pretty hot, dude.
Duh.
Selena, the girl in High Tension is hot and she kicks
Oh,
ass.
that's what you're talking about. Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Come
All
on,
right.
man. I'm not going to disappoint you. I'm not going to disappoint you.
I watched do you remember that phase where Jet Li was making a lot of movies?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like all of those and I
Uh-huh.
like a lot of them too. I like
I hope
Romeo
you
Must
like the one that
Die.
I like. I really do. Go on.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because there was a span of like 5 years where it was like one after another.
Yeah.
And so there's Romeo Must Die. That's a great
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah.
There's Exit Wounds. I haven't watched that one recently, but I did like it back in the day. I watched Cradle to the Grave recently, which I talked about. I talked about on the last show, and I told you how that's kind of like those three movies are like their own universe technically because of
Yeah.
Tom Arnold and Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that one actually is still a fun movie. But I watched the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
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 where there's like the evil version of himself from a different universe and it has Jason Statham in
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think I remember that one. I think I
It came
like
out in
that
like
one.
2001. Dude, fucking that was also back in the time in movies where it was nothing but like licensed music, like big songs. And it was
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
but
Yeah.
it's these big songs from the early 2000s. So there's like two Disturbed songs in there, including Down with the Sickness.
Oh,
And
down with the sickness.
the the final fight is to Papa Roach. I forgot about that. They started playing Blood Brothers, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
I like
Last Resort was in that fucking movie too.
yeah, of course. Of course. I love that song by the way. I love that. I miss that
I
like
saw Papa Roach.
did you?
Yeah, they opened for A Day to Remember.
Oh, that I were they good? I mean, I like I
They are
follow their
good.
Twitter
They are
account. They're
good.
funny.
The singer Jacoby like went to the crowd and like it was cool. It was a fun show. They played
Mm.
uh they played a couple one-offs that I enjoyed too. They didn't play Blood Brothers though. That's the one that I like. Everyone's like Last Resort. I'm like, no, dude, it's Blood Brothers.
Yeah, no, it's they're playing that for a reason, man. People want to hear Last Resort.
They even have, you know how there's that thing where it was like, what is it? Cut my slice into pieces. This is my plastic fork, and it's a slice of pizza.
Uh
They've now made that part of their merch line.
huh.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
so that was cool. But yeah, so I watched the one. Honestly, so again, like a lot of those other Jet Li movies, you know, they still hold up a certain amount,
Mhm.
because they're still enjoyable to watch. And honestly, for 2001, the CGI is not bad.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually,
Alright.
I was like, damn, this actually, because there's parts where they get like transported, like beamed to a different universe, and it shows them like almost like um not really deatomizing, but like turning into particles and then floating away, and it shows them like coming
Mhm.
apart, and it actually looks pretty good still.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
there some of those movies still hold up okay. Like I
yeah,
still prefer like I I respect like a movie like American Werewolf in London, which was all practical in the from
practical
the
is always going
early
to be better.
1981, and you watch that movie today, and you're still like, God damn, that's fucking art. That looks
Yeah,
amazing.
no, practical. Same thing with like
The Thing,
Terminator.
yeah, Terminator,
Yeah.
absolutely, Well, I mean, look, you Terminator 2
Okay, well,
holds up.
except for the end of one.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Sure, I mean Terminator 2 still, I mean he did it so right. That movie still holds up. I know
It's perfect.
you like that movie a little bit. I know you're kind of a fan,
It's my favorite movie
a little
of all
bit.
time.
Yeah,
It's one of the greatest. Look, we talk about it all the time, but that's
we do.
because you need to know.
It's a
You
great
need to know.
movie.
You need to know it and own it in your heart. I also watched. Do you remember the movie Showtime with Eddie
Eddie Murphy,
Murphy and
right?
Robert De
Yeah,
Niro?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's terrible. Yeah,
I don't think it's terrible.
I remember that I wasn't a
But
fan.
I did watch it quite a bit when it came out on DVD
Oh, okay,
when I was a kid.
okay.
And I liked it then. It's all right now.
No, okay. I wasn't. I'm not a fan. I was older when
I
I saw it, so Did
The last couple that I watched
uh
have been have been my most favorite to revisit.
Oh, okay.
Especially one in particular, but we'll get to that. So
Mhm.
I watched Little Nicky, the Adam Sandler
Yeah, I know.
classic, dude. I got to tell you, the CGI does not hold up in that, but
Cl-
uh,
Classic is not. That is not a classic.
dude,
That is
you know,
a
it's funny. That's not one that people regard as like one of his best, or even there's a lot of
no.
people that really don't like
That
it
was
at
starting the
all.
downfall, dude.
But no, I wouldn't agree with that. I think his downfall started like a little later, like
Mm.
maybe like anger management.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think it was then that Little Nicky was 2000. He was still like on top, you know.
probably. Yeah, yeah. It took. It was. He had a while.
But I liked it a lot. Also, fucking dude, banger soundtrack because it's again it's these licensed songs from the early 2000s.
Mhm.
It starts off with some fucking with the fucking POD. POD?
Yeah, I do. I do. I was like,
Yo.
I actually had their album. And I realized it was a Christian band. I was like, oh, like,
Well,
that's
I
not
mean,
my.
but it's
No
like,
offense, but that's not
but
my type of music.
but it's the same thing with it's. But again, it's like, who cares? You know what I mean?
Hey, well,
They're not singing about Jesus. It's
they
or
kind
being
of did.
preachy.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Well, yeah, but I
I don't
mean,
like it. And I'm not dissing people who
it
do.
was Christian new metal.
I just didn't like it. Yeah, I it was like high power stuff like I'm like fuck off. I don't like that shit. And
I
so
think I think
I'm
they're one of those bands. I mean, I don't listen to them at all anymore, but I think they're one of those bands that I like hearing because it takes me back to that time. That's what's
mm,
been so fun about watching these movies is that they all
yeah,
it's like it takes me back to fucking 2000 2001 and being you know at home uh on the weekend late at night, you know, with the family watching the
yeah.
movie and you know, great times. It reminds me of great times. And that's what's been great. So I think that POD is one of those bands. It's like there's such a relic of their time
They really
that
are. Yeah.
it takes you back to that time. So there is that quality at least. Same thing with a lot of the songs in that soundtrack as well. There's, you know, you got some Zebra Head.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and of
yeah.
course you got Foo Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You got Power Man 5000.
Oh, I actually like that's a lot.
I do too.
You know,
I mean,
Foo
I'm sure you
Fighters
know
are in
that
a movie,
that's
right? You know, they have a movie coming out, right?
I think you told me about that, right?
Yeah, Studio 666, a horror comedy. It looks pretty fucking hilarious, actually. I want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. It looks fucking funny. Go
I
see
think
it.
Dave Grohl just came out with a book as well.
Yeah, he's I mean that guy's always on top of the world, man. Is that all you watched, or what else did you well, oh yeah,
No,
well,
no,
what's
no,
the
no.
big one? That's one I went. I
The
fuck
one
Little
I
Nicky.
watched it,
Fuck
dude. I
Little Nicky.
watched. Look, Little Nicky's. I like it a lot.
That's all right. Good for you.
So, thanks. Taking one for the team on that one. But the one that I watched recently, and this is another one that also isn't considered to be a great one, I don't think.
Hmm.
But it was one that I watched constantly as a kid, and loved every time I watched it, and that would be Beverly Hills Ninja, the Chris Farley classic.
Yeah. Again with the classic thing, it's not a classic.
But see,
Not
that's what I
really.
mean. I didn't think it was like considered, but I got to be honest though. I was such and still am such a Chris Farley fan that
Hmm.
I'm never not in a mood for one of his movies.
That's fair. I mean, I
I
get
love
that.
Chris Farley, again, it's like same thing. I remember like you know, um, I remember loving it so much, and you know, it kind of took me back to that time, and it's
Yeah.
still fun. I still found it to be a lot of fun. You know, it's just a
That's cool.
silly Chris Farley movie.
That's cool. I mean, I don't
And
know, man.
also,
That's
did you
cool.
know? I swear to God, one of the best parts of that entire movie, one of the genuinely most funny parts of that entire movie, is Will Sasso.
That doesn't surprise me.
Will
Like
Sasso's fantastic, and I also
I've never seen
forgot.
it. To be fair, I've never seen the movie. I
Oh,
just
then get the fuck out of here! You
no.
shitting
I
on
mean,
it? You
I'm
haven't seen
sorry.
it?
Like that's
Yo,
a movie I'm
typical
not.
critic.
I'm not going to watch. No, I wasn't a critic when that came out. And back
No,
that was
but I mean,
I
whatever.
would never
But
watch that movie. Ever watch that movie? If
yo, you
I
should watch
had
it. You should
to,
watch Mate's Comedy and then watch Beverly Hills 90210.
if that, I'll watch Man's Comedy. If
Thank you.
that movie came out today and I had to watch it, sure, I would watch it as a critic. I would not pay money to watch that film. I would not watch it
It's
on
on
cable.
Hulu. If you have
I
Hulu,
wouldn't waste my time. Wouldn't waste my time.
it's only an hour
It,
and a half. That's also back when
here's the
movies
thing,
weren't
though.
4 hours.
Just not my thing, and it's like I that would be time that precious time to me that I would be losing. I could feel
Here's
it.
here's what else I love about it though.
Okay, fair enough.
It also co-stars Robin Shou, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's either Shao or it's Shou. I think it's Shu.
Okay.
He is the lead in the original Mortal Kombat movies. He plays Liu Kang.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And this was the same time when those movies came out. So it's Chris Farley and Liu Kang playing his brother. And it's hilarious. And he's great in it too. So you get the best of both worlds. I don't know. I love it. It's fun.
Let me
I had a
let me
great
say
time.
this. These are not. I'm not. Look, I'm not an Adam Sandler fan at all. I'm not really a Chris Farley fan. I like Chris Farley a lot more than I like Adam Sandler. I just that's not the generation of SNL players that I really liked. For the most part, there weren't a lot
Oh,
I
dude,
liked.
I
But
grew up. I mean, they weren't like I wasn't the right age to watch like, but you know, with reruns and you know the movies that they were starting to put out already. Like by the time they started to do that, uh, you know, when I was a kid, I grew up watching those, and then that led
yeah,
me to their SNL. So that whole class of SNL people, you know, Farley, Spade,
mm.
Sandler, Chris Rock. Who else? Who else was in there?
Oh, I don't know. I'm too stoned to figure that fucking that out, dude.
Norm Macdonald.
Oh yeah. I mean, but what I was gonna say is like I'm like I get it. I actually kind of dig your kind of love for that. Like I think it's cool. I'm like I don't begrudge people for loving shit.
It's
You know?
it's a thing that people, I think, at least with the movies, that people around my age tend to like the most,
Yeah.
just because again, it's like that, you know, those movies came out when we were at very young ages.
Yeah.
I think especially some of those Adam Sandler movies, as silly as they are, it can even appeal to really young
Yeah.
people too,
Look,
you know.
dude. I fucking love movies like Blood Beach, Just Before Dawn, or Don't Go in the
Oh
Woods, or
yeah, dude,
Cooper.
that's what I mean. It's like
Dude, I
you're
grew up
like the
on that shit.
fucking you're
You
like the
know?
Rain Man. You're like the Rain Man of shitty horror movies.
I
Like,
I, I mean
anytime somebody brings up a B horror movie, you're like Jeopardy, Jeopardy, Jeopardy.
I know my shit. I mean, like, because I grew up like I was. You know, it's funny. I literally I had this when I got to interview Dave Franco, who is like literally one of my favorite people.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that
he
guy.
loves you.
And we were just talking about we both had similar experiences where we would go and we would actually got a job at a video store like putting shit away just so we could see the videos. And oh my god. So I watched all those videos and I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch this one. Ooh, this one's cool. And I mean I knew like I'm you know I also wasn't an idiot. I was like I would knew when I saw a movie like that, then I'd see something like The Exorcist and I'd be like, well, there's a
Mm.
difference. There's a bit of a
Well,
difference.
yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's some movies that you shouldn't expect to be anything special, especially those kinds of movies. They're not meant to be top quality movies. You're supposed to take it for what it is. And what it is a silly comedy put on by somebody who has this specific brand and style that by now everyone's familiar with, and you either like it or you don't. It's a
Yeah.
waste of time. Same thing with those you know the guys talking shit to you in traffic about Kate Bush. It's like it's such a waste of time and so fucking stupid to be like,
So stupid.
"Hey, I don't like your music." Like that's basically what they said, and
Yeah,
it's fucking
basically.
stupid. It's like, yeah, everyone likes different things,
Yeah.
dipshit. Like, are you what are you a fucking robot? Are you an android? Do I need to call fucking NASA?
Well, you know what's funny, dude? one of the I promise I'm not just trying to bring the story it up again because of my love for it, but I want to talk to you about this because I was writing my review for Cyrano and I wasn't
Here
originally
we go,
supposed to
dude.
write it. It's not about the movie right now. It's more about the review in the sense that I I had to write it this morning, and I was kind of bummed because I wanted to spend more time on it because I really, you know me, I love the movie, but I did something I never do. Look, I made that movie my top 10 of the year, or my top film of the year last year. I think it's my favorite movie of the year. It's one of my favorite fucking movies. I'm not fucking kidding. You know this. In the review, I said, look, I'm giving this movie a 9. I gave a higher rating to Dune. I gave a higher rating to other movies, but sometimes your favorite movie isn't the movie that's technically the best or it just isn't.
You
It
like what you like.
You like what you like, I mean it's I we talk about this all the time. I don't begrudge people for liking, in a weird way. I enjoy seeing you get excited about some stupid ass movie like Little Nicky. I think it's great.
Yo, it
You
is
know,
stupid, but like I
it's
love it.
totally stupid, but what that's the fucking point. Some
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. It's not meant to. Yeah, it's not meant to be like a symbolic movie. It's meant to be Adam Sandler doing what he
Yeah.
does, and you like it or you don't. I
I
love
mean,
it.
I love when it came to comedy, my biggest my I didn't like it. I didn't like big budget comedies. I just wasn't, or I didn't like movie comedies in general because I just didn't find them funny.
I
But
really and see. I really don't either. I think that when I had a much less refined palate, I enjoyed these movies. So I think a lot. I think my enjoyment nowadays does hinge a lot on nostalgia,
sure,
but I'm still enjoying them, and
yeah,
if I saw them now, maybe I would still enjoy it.
maybe, yeah,
Um, but I mean, you know, it had some sort of impact, obviously,
yeah.
if I still seek these movies out for enjoyment,
Well,
you
and
know.
they're harmless to watch. They're an hour and a half of just goofy shit happening. Well,
Yeah.
fucking a, cool, awesome. Dude, I love shit like that when I was a kid too. Like I loved the weird dumbass I love sex comedies, man. I'd be like I always thought it'd be
Oh my
cool to
god.
like
Yeah.
watch those like sneak.
You dude, I know. I'm like Porky's and American Pie and
Yes.
like Road Trip and yeah. I mean, the thing, yeah, that was such a, again, like 90s, early 2000s. Like
Yeah.
it was such a time in movies where there was a lot going on. A lot of those movies you could not make now.
No, dude, I remember watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High as a kid. I didn't see, obviously, couldn't see in theaters. Would have been way too young. But I was like watching this movie later when it came out on video, and I was like, this is really dirty because it's a dirty movie. It is a pretty dirty film, even by today's standards. That's movies like that. The whole scene, like, what's funny is like, could they make what you said is right? Could they make the scene with Judge? What's his name? God damn it! But that's Judge Reinhold jerking off to fucking Phoebe Cates, who's in the pool, and and she walks in on him. It's like, I don't know if they could make that now.
No, or even like even fast forward a little bit to American Pie when
Oh no, yeah.
he's spying on Nadia on the webcam.
Hmm. Oh yeah. There's
Can't
no
have
way.
that.
No. Well, they did a fucking some kind of like, oh, what was it? It was like some kind of like a poll with people who are younger, and they showed them
Uwe
American
poll?
Pie, huh?
Uwe poll?
Uwe poll, yeah, exactly. That was actually really good.
Yeah, it's like that.
So
Yeah,
they,
you almost didn't catch that one.
yeah, I was like, because like I'm a little high, so
Oh
it's
yeah,
not.
no, I'm a lot of high. Keep going.
Yeah, I can tell. But like they did this whole poll, and they got kids' reactions to those movies, and yeah, people were like, "That's really disgusting." I'm like, "Wow, that's so
Yeah,
offensive that they." And
dude.
I don't want to say it's like I feel like it cheapens it to say, "Oh, it's just we politically." It's just a different time. That's all it
Is it
is.
really was a different time. It doesn't make these things okay,
No.
but back then people put shit like that in movies, and
Yeah,
it
and they
was
do they
and
do
it was
stuff
funny.
today
Like, I'm
that's
sorry.
they do stuff today that's probably in 10 years we'll be offended by. Probably, just that's the way shit is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many ways to like. You watch
You know,
movies. I watch
some
movies.
people invade fucking Ukraine, you know? It's like you got to pick your poison.
Exactly, exactly. So you said you're pretty fucking high. How much time do you got, man? Because I'm pretty fucking baked, but I'm feeling okay.
I do have a couple of things in my notes still.
Yes, please bring it on, buddy.
So first of all, because it's been a couple of weeks, we haven't talked about the Super
Dude.
Bowl on the show.
Oh, there
So I
was
know,
a what's the Super Bowl?
all right,
Explain this to me.
okay. I mean,
I've
it's just
first
some man shit you wouldn't understand. No.
can I say really quickly, and I'm gonna let you talk after this because I'm gonna let you go into this. I've never watched the Super Bowl in my life, ever.
I think. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's exciting either
Sure.
way.
Oh wait, I watched it once in Dallas in a Dallas airport, and it was exciting because people were. It was a big deal game, and people were
Yes,
really excited.
right. It's a very high
Sure,
stakes.
I
It's the
do
most
get
high
it. I
stakes
do
game
get
in
it.
football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it because I enjoy the competitive nature. I enjoy the excitement of how high stakes it is. I mean, the halftime show this year, incredible. Most of the time, I'm honestly not interested.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
this show was pretty impressive. I liked who they got. That was cool.
people are clowning on 50 Cent because he's got a bit of a dad bod going on these days. He's still jacked.
Well, yeah,
You can tell he's still jacked. But
he's
like,
older. People age. Get over it.
but like, yeah, he's got a little extra meat on his bones, which there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with.
No.
He still doesn't look bad, but everyone's kind of clowning on his weight. And I
Well,
saw this thing that was like,
dude, I heard that Snoop Dogg did marijuana before. Oh my god,
of course he does. That's his whole thing.
that was actually a news story. That was a fucking news story.
God,
Like,
get over
really?
it.
Yeah, shut
Get
the fuck
over
up.
it. He's
Shut the fuck
allowed
up.
to smoke anywhere.
Yeah.
There's a video of him. There's like a not a bodyguard, but like a security guard for a venue, and Snoop Dogg is standing next to him, and there's like a crowd of people around, and he's smoking, and like Snoop Dogg is looking the other way completely, and he just like puts it in front of the security guard who's like on the clock, and he's like, why would you ever turn down a joint from Snoop Dogg? You can't.
Yeah.
That's like not allowed.
Yeah.
But he's also allowed to smoke anywhere, and who's surprised? That's like his whole. Who gives a shit?
Him, I'd like to have on the show. That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool, dude. I've seen him. I think he has like some sort of a podcast or type show, but I've seen him like kind of bullshitting with like comedians and stuff, and he's great.
Uh,
He's great. Yeah, it's
so,
you
what
almost
would you
forget that he
think?
killed somebody allegedly.
No, okay. So let's talk a little bit about the game because I know this is a big deal. Especially you're a now an LA guy. Does that make you
Yeah.
more inclined to like the Rams or no?
Well, see, here's the thing. As you can tell, I'm a Chicago fan all across the board. No matter what,
Okay,
I'm an Illinois boy, so I'm Chicago teams across,
fair
Chicago
enough.
Bears fan in football. So yeah, but they not surprisingly didn't go to the Super Bowl this year. So which is fine. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. That's fine.
no
That's fine.
shocker. Um but no, it did. I mean, obviously I wanted the Rams to win because I am an LA guy now, and so I'm like, it's kind of cool to it's like I say with like the holidays and stuff. It makes it better when you indulge.
Sure.
You have fun. If you're just one of these sour pusses, it's like it's fucking stupid and like yeah, it kind of is, and it doesn't matter at all. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It could have been canceled, and like it doesn't matter. But um but it's fun. I enjoy the competitive nature. I do enjoy football. I mean, I don't get too invested in sports anyway. Um Obviously considering my chosen path in life, I'm more of an artsy fartsy type, believe
Yeah,
it
I
or
can
not.
tell the farty McFly there.
But yeah, right. But I still enjoy it. I enjoy the competitive nature. I've said that a
Yeah,
thousand times, but I enjoy it. It's obviously the most high stakes game in football.
yeah, yeah.
So it's intense, and there's a ton of people there. Everyone's watching. It's cool. It's better when you go to a party and people bring like
Yeah,
snacks and dip and shit.
I can see that.
Um, yeah, yeah. Get faded with your friends and just go, and you all pick a team. Um, but what I found interesting though is that I mean I got really into the game because it was actually a great game, but
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I hear it was good.
I had it on my laptop while I was playing video games.
Mhm.
So, um,
And I am happy we won. I think that's cool.
and that is also cool,
That's
and
still cool. Yeah,
that's why I was rooting because I'm like, yo, I'm an LA local now.
yeah,
They're in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is in LA. It'd be nuts if they won, and like I'm here.
yeah,
Um, but that was the other thing too, is that I found myself kind of in another one of those moments where I was grateful to have finally made it out here. I mean, shit, I think about all the time, like when I think about doing that presentation, that project about Hollywood, and like my teachers could tell that I was so infatuated with it, and and it'd be cool to let them know that, like, hey, I fucking, like, I'm out here doing it now,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and again, and I've talked about this before. You get so involved in the hustle and bustle of life, and like it's easy to become bitter, because your work and you got all this shit you got to take care of and whatnot. But when you take a break from that, that's why taking these hikes and going to shows and just getting out and doing things is important in general, but
yeah,
especially to me because it helps sort of. It's a nice reset. It's so refreshing, and it's a reminder that not everybody is bad. There's so many great things out here that you
yeah,
live basically right next to, and I'm very lucky to be out here and to be doing what I'm doing. Even though everything I'm doing obviously is on a smaller scale still, but
yeah.
like I'm still also just getting started. You know?
Look, it's a very interesting business, and you don't always go where you think you're going to go. And I still don't. You spend your whole life figuring shit out, and my focus kind of changed along the way, and I became a parent. I really like that. I
Sure.
like what I have to do with that. I like that's really most of my life. But with that said, I I'm still, I still enjoy the fact that I've gotten to be part of a website that I adore, work with people I love to work with, have be able to pick and choose people, like to be able to fucking call you and go, hey, dude, let's do a podcast. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And so I feel very blessed about that, and I get to talk to a lot of people I have absolute admiration for, and most of the time you find out they're pretty cool, honestly. Like it's and I get to, I'm very excited about. I got an upcoming interview that I'm really fucking excited. He's one of my favorite fucking people to talk to, and I'm so stoked. And I'll tell you more later. It's Dylan O'Brien. He's like a new movie, and I love talking to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genuine.
The Teen Wolf, right?
No, he's doing, yeah, he's from Teen Wolf, and so
Yeah.
he's got a movie called The Outfit coming. I think it's The Outfit, and it's him and Zoe Deutsch, who's amazing. I'm a huge fan of hers as well. Um, I I like. Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I get to talk. I had a fucking conversation with Matt Reeves, and he remembered who I was, and he was like,
Yeah.
"That's fucking cool." It's I
I
again, I don't think of people as, I treat the person working at the counter at a grocery store the same way I would treat a celebrity. I try to do that. I try to be really nice to people, no matter where they are on the fucking chain or whatever, because I don't look at how much they. I don't look at how green their wallet is. Oh fuck, I'm high.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. No, it's funny. I've been meaning to say that
Please.
you brought up you've been doing boxing. Ironically enough, just before the show, I was watching highlight videos of Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's
Wow.
like I've never been like a big boxing guy, but I'm also I'm infatuated by like greatness. It's incredible to watch, even if you don't care. like I'm
I
not a
agree.
big basketball fan, but I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan
Yeah, you watch
because
like
it's like it's you're seeing someone who is the greatest at this,
for sure that makes sense.
and watching the speed of Muhammad Ali and the absolute I I don't even know what I want to call it. The absolute just power from Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
Like you're looking at the two greatest boxers of all time, and Mike Tyson still he's in his well into his 50s,
yeah.
and he's still got that speed. He's still a very scary man.
He's yeah. I mean it's you're right. You're absolutely right. You can't like as someone who doesn't really watch that, but you can't deny when you do see something, when you do watch a whether it's a news clip or something happened, catch part of a game while you're scrolling through the TV. When you see that, there's moments where you're like, well, oh fuck, that's. I would even say with like like watching like fucking LeBron James. I feel the same thing. I think it's cool to see him play. I think he's kind of awesome, especially
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and I absolutely boxing specifically. It's hard for me to watch, which is weird because I love movies about boxing. Raging Bull, one of my favorite movies ever
Oh
made.
yeah.
Because then you get like this sense of not just the sport, which there is a great beauty to. Watching it is really fucking cool in a weird, but weirdly, I do kind of like the boxing more than any other sport, at least visually. I think it's just such an
Mm.
interesting, fascinating because it is so
Yeah.
animalistic. It is.
Very, and especially, I mean, there's the float like a butterfly. He really did
Yeah,
float. He glided and he was just so nimble,
yeah,
and Mike Tyson would dig in deep and just fucking pummel you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, yeah. I
That's
almost
also
brought up. I almost brought up the fact that he bit someone, but I'm not gonna
oh yeah. Yeah. He
talk
was
about
like
animalistic.
yeah, Muhammad Ali was more like graceful and was more about like the technique, and Mike Tyson genuinely wanted to hurt you.
Yeah, yeah. What's funny is like I interviewed him, right? Mike
Mike
Tyson.
Tyson?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I interviewed Mike Tyson, and he's a joy. It's like
He has his own
weird.
weed smoking show
Yeah, I
podcast.
know. Oh,
Yeah.
he should come on the show. We should have him on.
Yeah. We should go on. No, I want to go on his show. We should go on his show.
I'm totally dead. Mike, can we be? No, he is such a great interview too. He was a delight. I came out of that like wow, that was. But you know what? How you're talking about watching them, you also sometimes know you're in the presence of greatness. Even and I know he has some troubled history as well, and I'm whatever,
Sure.
not gonna talk about it. But you get that vibe from him when you walk out of that interview. You're like, whoa! I just interviewed Mike Tyson. That's weird.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
weird.
I,
That's
I, I
insane.
mean, I remember I watched The Last Dance, which was that documentary series about Michael
Yeah,
Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s.
yeah.
And
I wanted to watch that actually. That looked
dude,
good.
it is a phenomenal show.
Okay.
I fucking loved it. And again, you don't have to be a basketball fan to absolutely love it
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
because it's the same thing. You're watching the greatest in his prime, like clips, and then it all cuts like back and forth to all of them now, and it's fascinating. And what I find, especially with Jordan and with like Tyson and even Muhammad Ali, they all have this attitude of like they are the greatest, and I think that like I kind of believe that if you want to be the greatest, you do. I mean, again, as cliche as it sounds, you do genuinely have to believe that you are the greatest. And,
Yeah.
you hear these guys talk about themselves, and they talk like they consider themselves the greatest, and That's why when you hear people like Michael Jordan, especially in that documentary, talk and like there, it's an arrogance, but like that I think some people would get upset at.
Hmm. Well, okay, let
But
me ask you.
I think here's the thing. I think
Okay,
that there's a difference between arrogance and knowing who you are.
okay.
He
Because I was
knows
going to bring up like someone like Conor McGregor has that in spades. He thinks he's the best ever
right,
of anything.
right. Sometimes there are false prophets that rise up and have a very intense. I mean, he was on top for a while, but I
He
mean,
was. He was.
but
He was.
you know, so was Ronda Rousey for a while. She did a lot for women in the UFC. At the I mean,
Mhm.
people clown on her because her thing was she was never a great striker, but her ground game, like grappling, well above average, like
I've
phenomenal
interviewed
at it.
her a lot too. She's
Yeah,
cool. I like her.
she's cool as fuck, dude. She
She's cool.
fucking like she's a huge gaming nerd too. She'll like
Yeah,
do
she's
streams.
pretty rad. I like her. I like her a
Yeah,
lot.
no, I
Yeah,
love her. I love her. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, even that, it's some people have their moments. Um, I remember Chris Rock described it like in stand up comedy where you're like you as far as like it's not like the greatest of all time. You got to look at it like in years. Like who killed
mhm,
it this year in comedy? And you're like who
mhm,
have the people been that have had a year in comedy where that they dominated?
yeah.
They had a special come out that was like the big hit. So I think the same can be applied to just like anything else, especially
Yeah.
even something like that.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm just thinking about this as we're talking about this. Is I'm not a sports guy, and you're talking, but I'm literally, honestly, legit getting excited by your excitement by talking about it and how you see it, and
See,
that's
and it's like I'm not a big fighting fan either, but
no,
when these like people come out, it's like it's naturally infatuating because you're seeing someone who is at the top of their sport,
yeah,
well into the top of their sport for X amount of years, and so that person is inherently interesting because you're like,
no,
okay, you're like maybe you're a genetic freak, maybe this is the Michael Jordan of the UFC or the
yeah.
whatever.
I remember like I was at the Four Seasons once with this. He's another not. Gosh, I'm going to say his name. It's not that Kevin McCarthy, a journalist named Kevin McCarthy. He's great. He works out of Texas. He's a really sweet guy, and he's a huge basketball fan. And I hope it's basketball because I know it is. And he saw someone we're waiting for something in the Four Seasons do interviews, and Charles Barkley comes in.
That's pretty sick.
And to me, I'm like, I don't really know much about the guy. I kind of was like, oh, I know who he is, but I'm like, Kevin just got, oh my God, he was so excited. So we went and got a picture with the guy. And it was
That's
like,
so sick, dude.
even
That's
I got that was cool. Even I was like,
yeah.
that's neat.
Oh my
That's
god,
really
dude.
cool.
I would love to meet Shaq. Shaq is so fucking cool, and he's
Yeah, I
hilarious.
would like to meet him too.
You
I've
know,
never
he
met him.
does. He does. I mean, he's such a character too. He's actually genuine. I remember he did like a cameo for an Adam Sandler movie, and he did Conan, and they were asking Adam Sandler about it, and they're like, he's genuinely like he can hang with funny people. Like he's a legit funny person.
Mhm.
And he also does DJing, like electronic dubstep DJing.
That's
Um,
cool.
at
That's
at
cool.
at the big electronic music festivals where there's just like a sea of people. He's like
What?
one of the acts, and he does like clubs. Yeah, he was just in LA like not too long ago at like one of
Jesus
the big
Christ.
EDM clubs. Yeah, he loves like the real hard like dubstep, and he's like in there like head banging, and he's even there's videos of him like jumping in the crowd with like the kids because I mean the people at those festivals are like 18 to 22, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so is and like especially the dubstep, like there's a lot of mosh pits. So he's like moshing with kids,
Mm.
but he's not moshing. It's a bunch of kids bouncing off of Shaq because he's like 2 feet taller than everybody there,
Oh my God.
and he's jacked too. He's like a massive man.
Wow. And he's involved in everything. Like I see, he's
Yeah,
doing general commercials. And I feel like that people used to be so judgmental of people doing commercials for stuff. And I think now it's like, who fucking cares?
it's cool.
Yeah,
It's
who
cool. And
cares?
especially like, you know, you kind of look at it like, as an actor, you kind of look at it like good for them. They're getting work. I mean, not
Yeah,
that Shaq needs acting work, but like,
no,
you get it.
I did.
He does,
I did
his,
the junket for that movie he did. The what was that movie?
Kazam.
Uncle Drew. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was okay. It wasn't a bad movie, but I got to interview a few of the players from that, but we did not get Shaq. I was so bummed. I
Man,
wanted Shaq, man. I was like, I
man.
want to meet him. That'd be cool. Even not again, not a fan of basketball. Not really. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a Shaq fan, but it would be
I'm
cool
a
to
Shaq
fucking meet him.
fan, dude. He's
Sure.
another one of those. He's another one of those dudes. Which I gotta say, Kobe was one of those dudes as well. But I never got into Kobe. But I
Mhm.
was a big fan of Shaq. And again, I've watched highlights of his a few times. And when he hits the fucking Shaq attack, that's never been in basketball before. Do you know about the Shaq attack?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So he developed a reputation for breaking rims. He was
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah,
he would regularly like
I
do a
do know he
dunk,
did that.
and
Yeah.
because he's such a giant man, he would rip the rim off and there would be glass shattering all over him, and it would be like this big thing, and it's so cool to watch. Just this giant man just ripping the fucking hoop down in basketball.
Can you imagine how cool it would be to actually be there at the game when that
Dude,
happens?
can you imagine if you were doing a one-on-one with Shaq and he dunked on you? You know how cool that would be?
I would be fine with that. I would be 100%
I'm
fine with
like,
that.
Shaq just dunked on me.
I'm like, I just do it. Just bring it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
No, look. I've one of the joys of my job. I get to meet a lot of sports people too, because a lot of sports people move over to film. And honestly, some of them are the nicest people in the world. It's honest. I love when I get to talk to musicians or sports people or people that are like a little outside there's one guy I want to bring on this show. Actually, he's a there's a movie called I think you'd really like him a lot, actually. There's a movie. I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to. There's a couple things about the movie I don't want to fuck up. But there's a movie that had Miles Teller called "Thank You for Your Service." Right? Have you heard of that?
I think so.
So this movie is about. It's basically they took specifically Adam Schumann. Hold on, fucking. I think I've said. So Miles played this guy who basically went to war and had PTSD badly. He had a really rough life, and because of what the war did to him. So I'm friends with the guy that the movie's about. I know Adam,
Oh wow.
and I'd love to. I think he's a huge. He loves the weed. He's huge into it. We had him on another show, and he was like stoned as we did it. So we have to have him on. I think he'd be a lot of fun. I think you'd really like him, and he's a real genuine salt of the earth kind of guy, and he's really gotten better, and he's gotten a lot of help, and he's a really. I think we'd have I think it'd be kind of a serious story because he could tell us stories that we'd be like, dude, that's fucking crazy. But if you're down, man, we should have him on one time. I think it'd be fun. Get serious.
Um
You're
yeah.
spacing.
Yeah, that's what we do around here. We get serious.
Yeah, well, not all that serious, but
Oh my
no,
god,
we'd
dude.
have fun. We would have fun.
You know what happened? I almost forgot to talk about this. You know what
What?
happened this week?
What?
So last week I ordered, so I had, not to brag, but I had Wingstop for the first time.
Is it good? I've never
It's
had it.
so fucking good. It's way better than Buffalo Wild Wings.
I don't do wings.
Dude, I fucking bruh, I just
Wild
cooked
wings?
wings today. Um
Nah.
Wild ones. I no, I had Wingstop, and dude, it's
Wing
so
stop. That's
good.
it.
They have this lemon pepper flavor. Get the fuck out of here. It's so fucking good. It's the best one. It's my favorite one. Anyway, so I ordered a delivery on their website. And so since they had a website, I'm thinking maybe they have drivers, like, like a pizza place. But no, as soon as the order goes through, it gets rerouted through DoorDash, which I was like kind of bummed out about because I've had many bad experiences with that.
Yeah,
I
DoorDash
always
sucks. I hate DoorDash.
there's always issues.
Always, they suck.
And
Sorry, I'm not a fan.
they fucking stole my food. They legit fucking picked my food up and just left. Because I noticed that the delivery arrival time it kept getting higher and higher. And I'm like, dude, it's been like a fucking hour. So I called Wingstop and I was like, hey, it's been forever. And they're like, maybe he's stuck in traffic. And I'm like, I live like fucking 10 minutes away, which I didn't realize before I ordered delivery. But, so, and even the girl at Wingstop was like, I think they took your order because they were like, we'll see if we have it. And they're like, we don't have it. So someone must have given it away.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, no one's showing up. And they're like, she's like, yeah, sometimes they steal it. I'm like, fuck, dude. So I had to call and like DoorDash and call support, which I need to call them back because I still got charged. And like, it's just a whole fucking thing. And then I reordered and just picked it up myself. Very good. I don't think it's worth all that hassle, but assuming it goes easier in the future, it's great. Great stuff. I would highly recommend.
It probably will be now that you know it's closer. Maybe just avoid that. Look, that stuff they stole money from my mom, man.
Yeah, dude, a lot of money from my mom. And then so I ordered Uber Eats last night, and then I'm like nervous because it's my first time doing this since my shit got stolen. But I'm like, whatever, it's not DoorDash. I've had nothing but great experiences with Uber Eats, so it'll be fine. And then I ordered.
Oh God.
I ordered, and then I noticed that she was sitting in one spot for like fucking 30 minutes. And I'm like, the time just keeps going up, and I'm like, there is no fucking way that this is happening again. And she finally like heads my way, and then she takes forever to park, and then which I mean, I guess it was busy, but. And then I'm like waiting, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, my shit's gonna be fucking cold. And then I see her walk by. I'm like by the front gate. I see her walk by. I step outside, and she's like, just like really cooking down the sidewalk, like looking for my apartment for like address. And I'm like, excuse me, like I don't want to be too loud because I don't want to draw attention. Like I don't want any extra attention right now, but I want her to hear it. So I'm like, excuse me, and nothing. And I'm like, maybe I'll just wait. Maybe she'll realize that she's heading in the wrong direction and then turn around. She just kept going. And I'm like, I'm going to have to fucking chase this girl down.
Oh my God.
And she fucking made it almost all the way to the end of the block. And I'm like, excuse me, like trying to power walk behind her. Cause I'm like, I can't run after her because it's the middle of the night and we're the only people on the sidewalk and I'm just some guy to her. I can't just sprint up to her. So I gotta be like cool about it. So I'm like kind of like power walking and I'm like, excuse me, nothing. And she like turns around for a second and sees me like kind of like pacing towards her, and she like turns around real quickly and starts like speeding up, and I'm like, no, like that's my fucking food. Like I'm like, excuse me, like nothing. And
what
she like
fuck?
She finally stopped and was like looking around because she for the life of her could not fucking find it, even though the numbers on the front of the building are so big. And
wow.
And so I'm like, excuse me. And she's like trying to ignore me, I think because she just assumes that I'm some random.
Probably,
and I'm like, hi, excuse me. I was like, you have my, and of course, English isn't her first language, which is fine, but it made me a little extra nervous considering the situation.
Yeah,
so
no, I don't
I'm like,
you.
no. And she's like, Justin. And I'm like, yes, that's me. You have my food. Like that's, and then she was she was so hesitant to give it to me. She like very slowly, I think she was worried that I was some random guy
Yeah.
trying to just
No,
steal food, which I mean, I guess I
it
very
makes
well could have
sense.
been,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I was like, no, dude, she's gonna like freak out or like make me pull out my fucking ID or something, which is fine. But I'm like, dude, this could have been so much easier, you know, if he
Yeah.
just looked a little closer. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't upset. But then okay, the handoff has been made, and she's like, where is the building? I'm like,
Exactly.
it's that one there on the corner. It's that one with the white one. It's that one there in the corner. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's fine.
Aw.
It's fine. And I'm like, but then there's this thing where I now she has to walk all the way back to her car. I still have to walk back to my apartment. So now we're just like walking next to each other, like damn near hand to hand.
Oh
And
God,
I'm
that's so
just like trotting
awkward.
with my food, and she's just like trying to like, and I'm like,
Dude, yeah, you gotta do the like the wait. You just you like there's something about that that's so bizarre when you're like, okay, yeah, I don't know who you are, but
dude, yeah.
later.
Even with friends, and you're like, all right, man, I'll catch you later. And then you both start
Yeah.
walking in the same direction. You're like, no, I gotta like sprint. I gotta like, uh, dude, I gotta break somewhere else. I couldn't think of any words to get across what I was saying. I
Dude,
got a beeline. I got a beeline in the other direction.
I'll be impressed because we're both pretty high right now, and I think we both done a pretty good job of surviving.
There's one more thing I want to talk about.
Please do it,
This is
go.
juicy. First of all, because it has been a couple of weeks. How was
Yes.
your Valentine's Day?
Oh, that happened. You're gonna make fun of me, man. I
No,
watched
let's go. Let's
Cyrano.
go.
I
Let's
fucking
go.
watched Cyrano. That's what I did. I watched my
Dude,
little.
of course you did.
Yeah,
And
of
jacked
course.
your little pee pee.
I wanted to. I no, I didn't do that. I've
You
done
pulled
that.
on your little Peter Dinklage.
I just it made me so fucking happy, and I listened to some good music. I had a nice dinner. Made dinner again. Yeah, it was a nice day. It
Very
was a
nice.
nice day. How was your Valentine's? What did you do?
I was also nice. It was pretty cute. So, um, I mean, I worked and then I hung out with a friend. We went to
Huh?
Highland Park Bowl. It's a bowling alley it's kind of smaller, but it was built in the 20s, and they like kept the look
Yeah,
of the 20s bowling alley.
that's so cool.
So yeah, it was a pretty cool place. And we got a couple of drinks and got some food, and had a nice little bro date for Valentine's Day.
Huh?
We both kept forgetting that it was Valentine's Day
Yeah.
because I'm like, it's just another day. They're playing like fucking Mazzy Star on over the, and I'm like, yo,
Oh, I love
I,
that song.
I was like, look, I love Mazzy Star, but that doesn't really get me pumped to bowl. And then I'm
Hey,
like, oh,
dude.
it's because it's fucking Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I even had a buddy of mine text me, and he was like, because he saw my Instagram story,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Are you on a date with a girl?" He's like, "You got to tell me all about it." And I was like, "No, man, it's actually just a dude friend bro date."
I feel
And
like did
I was
I
like,
text her? Because I think I
no,
was
no,
wondering
that's my
that.
buddy CJ. That was
Okay.
my buddy CJ. Please, they're trying to take credit for everything. I was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot about the implications of me being like, hanging out,
I think it's such a
having a great
sweet.
time.
But here's the thing about Valentine's Day.
It's dumb.
It's
It,
just like
it
a
is
day to
dumb.
have a nice day. Like it's like well, a lot. I feel bad for people who don't have or are single and who like look. You found a way to enjoy it. That's smart. That's a
Yeah,
great thing.
yeah,
It sucks. It's like it makes you feel like, oh, isn't it great to be in love? Isn't it great?
yeah.
Oh, you're
But
not in
like,
love?
I'm not really. I don't know. I'm not really looking for that right now. So I wasn't
Yeah,
jealous. I was just like, yeah. I was
yeah,
actually. I right now I would have preferred to do that anyway. So
yeah.
that was a nice time. But earlier that day, and I posted this on my Instagram stories as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but um, earlier that day, I stepped outside on my balcony and I looked up, and somebody had like written a message in the sky, like with the
Yes.
planes that do like the little clouds and they write shit.
Hmm.
So this
What
was
did
on
it say? I
Valentine's
missed
Day.
part of that.
This was on Valentine's Day. It was right above my neighborhood. And in big like cloud letters, it said, "You can hate me if it helps." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god." And I'm like, "That's intense." And jokingly, I was like, "Oh man, someone's having a real rough Valentine's Day. Like someone just got his heart ripped out like a week ago and now it's Valentine's Day." And now he's and like the girl probably lives in the neighborhood and he's like, "Fuck you." Like I'm gonna get my cloud plane and tell you what I really think, you slut.
Wow. What's okay? What's the
But
worst thing you ever did to someone who you broke up with? I have to know
oh
that.
man, I like that question. That's a cool question. I don't know if I've oh, I know what I did. Oh man, I don't know if I should say this. Uh,
I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you a fun one I had.
atay. What the
Tell
fuck is
you a fun.
atay my?
Tell you a fun.
Atay my.
I don't know what's fucking happening.
So okay, let reiterate the question to me
Okay,
again.
so what is the worst thing you did to someone who either broke up with you or you broke up with?
The worst thing I
Not
ever
that, not necessarily like if you like
did.
killed their cat. Please don't talk about that. But like something,
No,
not that
something
mean.
spiteful and
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
something petty, petty.
Sure, sure.
I did petty. I got petty for you. But go on.
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Uh, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so I was dating this girl, and I was very inexperienced, and she was experienced, not in a bad way. She was a nice girl, but her name was Jenny, and she
Was she
broke up
from the
with
block?
me. She was not from the block. I wish she
Oh.
had been, but she broke up with me for a friend of mine, and it broke my heart.
Oh.
And there was other stuff going on. I was just such a stupid little kid, so I called her one day and I said, "This is how you made me feel," and I played this song called "All Cried Out" by Lisa and Colt Jam, and she's like, "So you broke my heart out. I hate you." It was like so petty, and it's like she
Wait,
hung up on me so quickly. She was so pissed. It was so fun.
how old were you? When
I
was
was
this?
a child. I was like junior high. Junior
Oh,
high.
I see, I see.
Yeah,
A
like
friend of mine did something similar, I think around that same age, except he played Puke by Eminem.
oh, that's a good choice. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
if maybe I went for this very super romantic and sad. That's what I went.
Yeah,
She was pissed.
yeah,
Well, okay, now
yeah.
you. Now,
You know, I remember I took this girl. I had a huge crush on this girl my junior year of high school, and we like talked every day, and I was just too afraid to ask her out, and then, but I would ask her to these dances, and we went to prom together, and she was actually the first person I went to prom with, and I was like, we're gonna have this great night, and then it would be such a high that afterwards, maybe not that same night, but I I had no fucking idea what I was doing then. I was
mm,
severely like 100% inexperienced. So, um, but I invited her to prom, and then she spent most of the night, or at least half of the night, dancing with a friend of mine who she then started dating. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's so fun.
I remember at lunch, I was like, I'm gonna ask her out. I'm finally gonna ask her out because they all fucking knew that I was like crushing on her, and then they like started making bets. They're like, "What's she gonna say? What's she gonna say?" And then, but they were kind of doing it in like a laughing at me kind of way.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
a good friend of mine, Cody Jones, he pulled me aside, and because I was like, no, dude, after school, it's going down. Like, I'm gonna ask her out. And after school came, I was like trying to find her, and then right before I walked out of the building, my buddy stopped me and he goes, "Hey, man, don't ask her out. Don't do this. If those guys are in there making a mockery of you and like placing bets on what she's gonna say, then it's like, don't keep feeding into this. Like,
Mm,
don't, just let it
yeah.
go." And then she, I don't want to say completely abandoned me on prom, but like halfway did, to get down with a friend of mine that she ended up going out with.
Oh shit!
So how about that? How about that? But
Wow.
that's not the story though. That's not. That was
Yeah.
a little
Damn.
sidebar.
Damn.
Worst thing I ever. Okay, so you played like a nasty song. I. This was not so long ago. Um, I was going through a particularly ugly breakup. And then I had to move out in a hurry. So because we live together, and then there's like the separation of belongings.
Yeah.
And my mom had bought us the bed when we moved, and then her parents bought us a couch when we got there, and when like after we moved in. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna get the bed, you're gonna get the couch. But it was such. I've talked about this on the show before, and I don't really care to go into it just because it's like it feels exhausting. But
Yeah, for sure.
um it was a very rough time, and I got I mean, yeah, I mean, it was an ugly breakup, and I was wronged. I was wronged. Very much so. And so it's like, there's hard feelings, and you're kind of going through things, emotionally, and you're sad, and you're torn up.
Yeah.
But then there's like the business portion where you're like, I gotta fucking fork out all this money to like get out of this situation. And then but in the middle of all that, maybe about a month after the initial breakup, I started hanging out with this other girl. And keep in mind, like, I was still living with my ex
Yeah.
at the time. It took us a few months to finally separate and move in separate places. But she was gone all the time. So I started hanging out with this other girl who I already knew because we were already kind of friends. And then one thing turned into another. And then we became kind of like friends with benefits.
Yeah.
And I fucking destroyed her couch with this other girl.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of fluids ended up in that couch.
Oh my
That,
goodness. Wow.
yeah. But you know
Wow.
what? Here's the thing. That's just what happens. you know,
Uh,
it gets a little worse than that.
oh Jesus Christ.
I don't really know if I want to. I don't know.
I I want to know, but at the same time, there's this part of me that's like, I'm
I don't know if
looking.
it's I don't know if it's TMI.
I think it. I
It, it,
Let's talk later.
it might be a little TMI. Yeah,
Let's talk
yeah.
later about that. Yeah.
But yeah,
Sometimes.
we
Yeah.
that look, other belongings got involved in this ordeal. Let's just say
Oh
that,
wow.
and also got ruined with fluid. So, um, yeah. And I was like,
Cool.
and I wasn't doing that. That wasn't a plan of mine.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're like, you kind of catch on to like the fact that now this is their couch, and you're like, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you get. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you step into the ring, daddy's going to give you the razzle dazzle. Okay. And there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. That's just God working. All right.
Yeah.
That's just the way
Yeah.
of the world. That's the game. That's the way life goes sometimes.
Look,
And I'm just a mere vessel for the word of the Lord. And the word is that, like, look, gonna be giving you the rope a dope.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a good answer, my friend.
Oh my god. Also, so
Jesus.
I really enjoyed that question though.
Oh, good, good.
I love
Well,
I love those are my favorite kinds of questions.
I will ask more. I will ask
Please
more.
do. That shit is fun. Because
Okay.
here's the thing, as an actor, I love talking about myself.
Yeah, he
So,
does. He does. It's no. I mean, that's look. We do.
but that's also a fun question.
Yeah. Look. Hey, I'm pretty good at this shit. So.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's almost like you do this like as a job or
yeah, it's
something.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Look, this has been a fun show, dude. It's
Yeah,
been a
I
lot of
got I
fun.
got one more. Here's the thing.
Please,
Here's the
please
thing.
bring it
Here's the
on.
thing.
Because
One of these
keep
things
it.
has a sequel, okay?
What?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Everything's a
Because
sequel, a requel,
when I
requel.
saw the guy writing the sign in the sky, and
Yeah.
I was like joking, I was jokingly, I was like, "Oh, he's having a rough Valentine's
Oh, I
Day." I
forgot
think
about.
I think there's something to that because a week later, I was walking around the neighborhood and there was
Uh,
another message in the sky. And I caught this one a little late. A few of the words had already blown away, but what I did catch was just a pretty face. So I think he wrote like you were just a pretty face. And I was
you
like,
know
what
what
the
it?
fuck
You know what it might be.
was that?
It might be so. It might be some. It might be advertising for something. They do shit like that all the
Maybe.
time. That actually, if it's continuing, that's not someone who would waste money like that would be a studio. Look, they sent Michael Myers to our apartment, so
I saw that.
yeah. So that is something like that is smart because people start to go, "What the fuck is that?" They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna go look it up." And a lot of times then you're suddenly like, oh shit. Oh, okay. I would Google it. I bet you anything there's a tie into a
Oh,
horror series. Do you find it?
hang on.
Oh my I'm so excited. And the silence is killing me.
Well, I know. One of the Google autofills was you can hate me if it helps skywriting. And I was like, oh shit. But it links me to an Olivia Rodrigo song, which I know she's real big right now, I think. She has like
Yeah.
some big hit. Maybe it's that. Well, let me type in the other thing. Stay.
I'm convinced it's something with an advertising because that sounds like an advertising thing. I don't know what, but yeah. This is
I
a portion. What are we looking at? What are we finding? Anything? It's like a detective story, is what we're doing right now.
um
Because see, when I
no
saw it, I didn't see. I didn't.
I'm
It was already gone. It was already
I'm
fucking.
not I'm not seeing anything specific
Hmm.
on it.
I
And I
mean,
think
it's possible that was someone who's really fucked up and really pissed
someone's
off.
just going through it, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
stay strong, King.
well, dude, this has been fun. Let's do this again next week, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Um, so first of all, I do please, please, please talk to your people. Bring them on. Let's bring them on the show. I really want to.
Yeah, I think once we get closer to release,
Okay.
that's like official release.
And
But
follow.
for the
Yeah.
time being, here's the deal. For the time being, um, be sure to follow at Mates Comedy on
Yeah.
Instagram. You can also follow Mates on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube. Um, yeah, there's going to be content posted leading up to it, and then starting April 1st, that's when we release our first official full episode sketch comedy. It's very going into it. We kind of leaned into making it very like kind of Adult Swim like.
No, cool.
Um, so and yeah, it has that feel for quite a few of them. So which is good.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of them are very good, and we put a lot of work into it, and um, we're all very proud of it. We're all excited for it, and you should be too because it's coming. And if you're into that style, uh, or if you just like sketch comedy at all, or if
Yeah.
you just want to support your boy. Either way, be sure to follow Mates Comedy, sketch comedy show coming April 1st. And no, that is not an April Fool.
No, it is
The
not
only April
April. I
Fool
thought.
here
Oh,
is
cool. April
us.
first.
But
It's you won't. You'll
speaking
be
of
foolish
fools,
to miss it. You'll be
you'd be
foolish to
foolish to
miss
miss
it.
it.
Yes. And where can people find you, my friend?
Well, first of all,
First of all,
speaking of things that you should do on your phone, you should also like, subscribe, follow, comment, rate,
yes,
review,
do
all of
this.
those things for this show as well. I mean, you're already doing it for Mates. You might as well do it for this.
Might as well. You're there, right?
More
Why
quality
not?
content. Yeah, you're getting quality content from two ends,
Fuck
me
yes.
being the link between the two. And it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
we're out here doing it,
We're doing the
So
thing. We're doing the do.
we're doing the thing that we're yeah. But speaking of me, you can follow, if you want more of me, you can also follow me primarily on Instagram at JustinButts94, Twitter at Justin_Butts94. You can also follow me on Twitch. I stream sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. If you follow, you'll catch it. How about that? You can follow me on twitch.tv/Justin_Butts. Jimmy, what about you?
You can, of course, find me at joebelow.com, weliveentertainment.com. You can, at one point, we're going to have a new Sound Scary, I promise, on Cosm. You can, of course, find me on Twitter and Instagram, Jimmy to the O, and James Oster on, I still do Facebook. I don't know why. And, of course, Cameo. Justin, it's been a pleasure, as always.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Guys, can't wait till next week. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.